Chapter 1141 Star Blade and Star Moon Blade. 3rd. However, Yi Xingchen and Yi Xingyu were obviously not in a hurry to come out, but were concentrating on searching for forbidden strange objects. After all, I finally entered the forbidden treasure land. If I don't look for the forbidden strange objects, wouldn't this opportunity be wasted? There have been many battles in the outside world. Several days have passed, and many forces have withdrawn, but only a very few forces have obtained the natural talent fruit. After all, there are only 1024 natural talent fruit in total. In addition, some true ancestors took it by themselves, resulting in the ability to supply there are even fewer natural talents robbed by the major forces. But there were more than 1,000 forces participating in the war, and even many generals of Haifeng Mountain also participated, but Haifeng Mountain did not snatch a few natal natural talents, and even after the battle, it was unclear who had natal natural talents. In the blink of an eye, half a month has passed. There are still many forces squatting outside the Forbidden Forest, and many forces have ignored the previous agreement and sent many true ancestors under 10 million years old into the Forbidden Forest. The goal of these true ancestors is not to snatch the natural talents, but looking for forbidden wonders. Yi Tian and Xiao Yu were not in a hurry, they knew that Yi Xingchen and Yi Xingyu were fine, so they settled down in Wanzhou City with peace of mind. "Brother, I have a new discovery here, come over here." Yi Xingyu sent a message to Yi Xingchen and urged. After Yi Xingchen received the information, he rushed over at the fastest speed. After a while, Yi Xingchen came to Yi Xingyu's side. "Brother, there is a passage leading to the underground space, and I found something good in it." Yi Xingyu said on the 29th. Go down and see," Yi Xingchen said curiously. The two passed through and came to an underground space. Here, they saw two forbidden strange objects, and they were very rare forbidden strange objects. "This is a forbidden weapon of the weapon class. A natural growth forbidden weapon," Yi Xingchen said in shock. "In front of me, there are a total of two forbidden strange objects, and they are very similar. Together they resemble the sun and moon wheels, and when they are separated, they are two sharp blades. Moreover, these two taboo strange objects have obvious taboo attributes, one is the taboo attribute of the sun, and the other is the taboo attribute of the moon, as if they were born to fit the two brothers and sisters. We're so lucky," Yi Xingchen was surprised. Yi Xingyu nodded again and again, their luck was really good. For a long time, they can often learn a lot of descriptions and knowledge about forbidden strange objects from their parents, among which there are forbidden strange objects of weapons. But this type of taboo is too rare, and most of them are disposable weapons, which are low-level taboos and are of low value. Otherwise, many Taoist ancestors would not be eager to build a taboo weapon. But the taboo strange objects in front of them are different, and they almost reach the level of taboo treasures. If these two forbidden wonders are allowed to contain a long time, they may really grow into forbidden treasures. Moreover, this kind of taboo weapon with a growth type can completely refine more taboo rare items, making them stronger, so the value is much higher than ordinary taboo treasures. The top-level forbidden items are also rare weapon-type forbidden items, and they completely fit our path. For us, they are more precious than a low-level forbidden treasure. Once cultivated well, you can even cultivate them. Become a low-level forbidden treasure or even a medium forbidden treasure. 1. Yi Xingchen muttered. Yeah, if many people have forbidden treasures, they would be willing to exchange some useless forbidden treasures for this pair of forbidden weapons. Yi Xingyu followed. Why don't you name them Xingchen Blade and Xingyu Blade? Yi Xingchen suggested. Okay, Yi Xingyu replied. The two did not intend to put the Xingchen Blade and the Xingyu knife here to breed slowly, but they did not dare to take them away rashly, otherwise, it would be dangerous if it caused a terrible thing. However, the most important thing in the Forbidden Forest is the forbidden bloodline creatures. They have also captured some forbidden bloodline creatures before, just to deal with this situation. Immediately, they released two forbidden bloodline creatures and threw them at the Xingchen Blade and Xingyu knife. Boom! The Great Terror was triggered, and the two forbidden bloodline creatures fell and died one after another. Next, Yi Xingchen and Yi Xingyu released the forbidden bloodline creatures again, and they did not cause any more terror. So, the two safely took the Xingchen Blade and the Xingyu Blade. Yi Xingchen got the Xingchen Blade, Yi Xingyu got the Xingyu Blade, and they were all satisfied and put away. This kind of weapon-type taboo strange object, after returning home, slowly refining, and then adding a few things, it can be made into a taboo weapon. It's just that this place is not suitable for refining at present, and there are some things missing, so they put it away and refine it after returning. It is also fortunate that these two forbidden wonders did not reach the level of forbidden treasures, otherwise once they were taken away, an astonishing vision would be produced, and it would be easy to expose them at that time. After leaving this space, the two continued to search for forbidden strange objects in the forbidden forest, but at this time, the number of true ancestors poured into the forbidden forest, and it was more difficult to find the forbidden strange objects. Therefore, Yi Xingchen and Yi Xingyu were not going to continue their search. Wanzhou City, Yi Tian and Xiao Yu sensed Yi Xingchen and Yi Xingyu's breath, and hurried over. And when Yi Xingchen and Yi Xingyu came out, an ordinary invincible true ancestor subconsciously attacked the past. Boom! With one blow, Yi Xingchen and Yi Xingyu couldn't stop it. After all, the gap between the supreme ancestor who just broke through and the invincible ancestor is still too big. It would be strange if it could be easily blocked. But at the critical moment, Yi Tian's power protected the two of them, so that they did not suffer any harm. You dare to attack my son and daughter? Yi Tian's eyes stared at the invincible true ancestor. The invincible true ancestor from the 6th layer saw Yi Tian, his face turned pale, and he quickly explained, "The true ancestor of 10,000 laws, I misunderstood, I didn't see it clearly, I didn't know they were your sons and daughters." No need to explain, Yi Tian waved his hand, and casually cast a thousand path technique, vansh true spear. Puff! This invincible true ancestor was directly penetrated by a blow, and his body was completely wiped out. An invincible true ancestor fell. Yi Xingchen rarely saw his father make a move. The first time he saw his father make a move was when he was relatively weak, and at that time his father killed some weak people. But now seeing his father instantly kill an invincible true ancestor, this feeling is too shocking. When will I be able to be as powerful as my father? Yi Xingchen and Yi Xingyu murmured in their hearts. Come on, let's go home. Yi Tian said. Seeing Yi Tian taking Yi Xingchen and Yi Xingyu home, no one dared to stop him. The invincible ancestor who died just now is a lesson from the past. Even the invincible true ancestor was killed in seconds, and the life-saving things were useless. It can be seen how big the gap between the strengths of the two sides is. Many invincible true ancestors have different feelings. They found that Yi Tian's breath is stronger than before. I am afraid that the elite-level invincible true ancestor will also be killed by Yi Tian with one blow, and if the top-level invincible true ancestor is life-saving, the ability is a little less, and the same is true. Even the invincible 403 true ancestor, whose life-saving is very terrifying, can't stop a few tricks in front of Yi Tian. This is how they feel. Human race. Yi Tian, Xiao Yu, Yi Xingchen, and Yi Xingyu returned. The first time, Yi Xingchen and Yi Xingyu reported to Yi Tian the experience of the Forbidden Forest, and immediately took out all the natural talents. Father, this is the natural gift for you. Mother, this is the birthright fruit for you. Yi Xingchen gave one by himself. As for Yi Xingyu's natural talent, he left it all to himself. My son will be filial to us. Yi Tian happily accepted the gift from his son Yi Xingchen. I thought that Yi Xingchen and Yi Xingyu's harvest was just this, and at most there would be more taboo strange things. But when the two of them took out the Xingchen blade and Xingyu blade, Yi Tian was shocked. This is a forbidden weapon of the weapon category, and it is a top-level forbidden strange thing. Yi Tian was surprised. He doesn't have such a taboo strange object. Moreover, the taboo attributes of these two taboo strange objects fit perfectly with the son and daughter, as if they were accompanying taboo strange objects. My son and daughter really have great luck. I am afraid they are the sons of luck in the ancient world of Xuanshu. Yi Tian guessed. Otherwise, there is no way to explain why their luck is so unbelievable, and almost every time they go out, they have a big harvest. This is the ancient world of Xuanshu who loves them and brings them good luck again and again. For this kind of luck, everyone wants, but cannot envy it. These two taboo strange objects are very good. You cultivate them well, it will be very helpful to your strength. Yi Tian urged. Yi Xingchen and Yi Xingyu nodded. Chapter 1142 The Lord of the Forbidden Palace has broken through. 4th. Yi Xingchen and Yi Xingyu then began to go back, and immediately began to retreat and refine the natural fruit. They are still looking forward to Dao-level natural talent. Not long after, Yi Xingchen and Yi Xingyu gave birth to a Dao-level natural talent. Dao-level natal talent, Star Armor. It turned out to be a defensive star Taoism. Yi Tian was a little surprised, but he was also a little disappointed in the surprise. His most ideal Dao technique was the attacking type Dao technique of the stars. Of course, this technique is also very good. In the future, it will be very easy for him to practice defensive Taoism, and the cultivation of star-like Taoism is much faster than before, but the most suitable for him is the star-like defense Taoism. The other side, Yi Xingyu's Dao-level natural talent is Stargate, which is a Dao-level natural talent that contains the avenue of stars and the avenue of space. It is also suitable for her, with both defense and shuttle ability. The only pity is that this is not an attack-like Dao-level natural talent. Yi Tian was the first to know the Dao-level natural talents of the two sons and daughters, and immediately copied the two Dao-level natural talents with the copy talents, turning them into his own Dao-level natural talents. Immediately, Yi Tian and Xiao Yu also started taking the innate life fruit. Xiao Yu took the natal natural talent, and also gave birth to a Dao-level natal talent, Moonlight Wings, which is a Dao-level natal talent that increases speed. In the future, she will be much easier to practice speed-based Taoism. And Yi Tian also began to take the initiative to give birth to the first Dao-level natural talent that belonged to him. Dao-level natural talent, Emperor Armor. This is a Dao-level natural talent with both defense and combat power enhancement, and it fits perfectly with Yi Tian's Great Wilderness Law. It is a very good Dao-level natural talent. Immediately, Yi Tian merged Emperor Armor with other defensive Dao-level natural talents after fusion, and named it Emperor Armor, forming a brand new and powerful Emperor Jia Dao-level natural talent. There is something to do next. This time there are so many Dao-level natural talents, many true ancestors will probably be impatient to take the refining natural talents, so there should be a lot of Dao-level natural talents. Yi Tian muttered. Immediately, he asked the people of the Juji Legion to start investigating the news of the Dao-level natural talent, and he believed that a batch of lists would be delivered to him soon. The more the number of Dao-level natural talents in Xuanshu ancient world, the happier he is, because the more Dao-level natural talents he can assist. Therefore, this time the birth of the natural talent tree, the happiest person is him. Next, the people of the Juji Legion were dispatched to continuously investigate the matter of the Dao-level natural talents, but it would definitely take a long time. After all, those Dao-level natural talents would definitely not be exposed at the beginning. But with the passage of time, there will be rumors within many major forces who refined the natural talent fruit and gave birth to the Dao-level natural talent. Years pass by, and in the blink of an eye, thousands of years have passed. 368 Dao-level natural talents. Yi Tian looked at the list in his hand and muttered. The actual number is definitely more than that, but it is good to be able to find out so many at present. If you encounter those Dao-level natural talents in the future, then copy their Dao-level natural talents. If I copy and integrate these 368 door-level natural talents, my Dao-level natural talents will probably be enhanced a lot, and it will be easier to cultivate Taoism. Yi Tian said happily. In the following decades, Yi Tian traveled all over the ancient world, looking for those Dao-level natal talents, copied their Dao-level natal talents one by one, and finally copied all the talents of 368 Dao-level natal talents. There are also a few more Dao-level natural talents. Such a harvest made Yi Tian extremely excited. Next, Yi Tian chose another technique in the thousand ways, Vajra battle body. This is the famous Zongqiandao technique from King Kong City, but other forces have also recorded it, and Black Wind Mountain has collected this Zongqiandao technique. This Zongqiandao technique is very famous. The ancestors of Dao have all practiced this Zongqiandao technique. It is different from the Great Wilderness Dharma. In fact, most Taoist techniques are active. What is passive defensive Taoism? That is, it does not need to be activated, and once it is attacked, it will automatically defend. Therefore, the passive defense Dao technique of Vajra battle body is relatively good. Yi Tian's other Dao techniques have basically reached the limit level, so there are currently no Dao techniques to practice. Naturally, he wanted to find a new Dao technique to practice, so he chose the Vajra body. As predicted, after Yi Tian's Dao level natural talent became much stronger, his cultivation speed increased sharply. In a short period of time, the Vajra battle body successfully entered the entry, and then Xiaocheng and Dacheng, I don't know how many times faster than when I practiced before. In less than 100,000 years, Yi Tian successfully cultivated the Vajra body to the perfect state. As for the extreme level, it will take a little more time. In the subsequent retreat, Yi Tian's main task was to comprehend the forbidden Dao, followed by cultivating the forbidden technique. As for the Dao technique, he put it down first. After all, the middle thousand Dao technique is not very helpful to him at present, unless it is the great thousand Dao technique. However, at the true ancestor level, there is no way to practice the great thousand Dao technique, even if it is practiced for hundreds of millions of years, it will not be possible. Daqian Daoshu needs to be combined with Dao before it can be practiced. Every move is the power of Dao, and Daqian Daoshu is actually a high-level application of the power of Dao ancestor, which is extremely powerful. And the true ancestor does not have the power of Taoist ancestors. Even if he is the supreme true ancestor, he does not have the power of Taoist ancestors. Therefore, Yi Tian currently does not meet the conditions for cultivating the Great Thousand Tao technique. Otherwise, his strength can skyrocket when he cultivates any Dakian Tao technique. On the edge of the dark forbidden area, there is a small world, as if it is a world of its own. This is where the Forbidden Temple is. The Hall Master of the Forbidden Hall used an initial realm to open up a world here, where the people of the Forbidden Hall were allowed to practice here, and even used a large formation to absorb the dark taboo power of the outside world to forcibly temper their bodies. At this time, the Palace Master of the Forbidden Palace was retreating and cultivating. His breath continued to strengthen, as if to break a certain boundary. Unexpected. Boom. The breath of the Hall Master of the Forbidden Temple instantly broke the shackles and was promoted to the realm of the fifth layer Heavenly Tao Ancestor. Finally broke through, the Palace Master of the Forbidden Palace said excitedly. For many long years, he has been trapped in the fourth level Heavenly Tao Ancestor's extreme, and he has never been able to break through due to fundamental problems. Now, he finally made up a part of the foundation and stepped into the realm of the fifth level Taoist Ancestor. The Mission Sutra of the Mission Sect is really good. Even if I am a fourth level Heavenly Taoist, cultivating this secret technique can make up for the foundation and even reshape the origin. Unfortunately, once I cultivate the Mission Sutra, it is equivalent to firmly united with the Mission Sect. There is no way to break away from the Mission Sect. 1. The main road of the Forbidden Palace. Mission Junjing is divided into Mission Bible and Mission Daojing, and what he cultivates is Mission Bible, which will be restrained by Mission Daojing. Once he encounters a Taoist who cultivates Mission Daojing, he may not be able to exert 50% of his strength, and other aspects are also comprehensive, restraint. Because of the existence of the Mission Bible, many Taoist ancestors could not betray after they joined the mission school. He also knew about this problem, but he was also moved by the Mission Bible, which is why many Taoist ancestors knew that there would be this sequelae, but they couldn't help cultivating. But if he cultivates to the invincible Daozu realm in the future, he will not be affected by the Mission Daojing. This also gives him hope. After all, he has mastered the power of darkness and taboos. As long as he makes up for the foundation, he will still have a great chance to enter the Supreme Tao Ancestor in the future, and naturally there is a glimmer of hope to enter the invincible Tao Ancestor realm. Is it good now? My strength has entered the fifth layer of Heavenly Daozu, and with the help of the forbidden strange objects scraped up from below, the forbidden body has also been raised to the realm of small achievement. HMPH, Daoshan Daozu, this time you are dead. The Palace Master of the Forbidden Palace said coldly. Although Daoshan Daozu is also in the fifth layer of heaven, he is far inferior to him. Having mastered the forbidden body of Shaocheng and the forbidden power of darkness, he can easily defeat Daoshan Daozu. This time, unless Daoshan Daozu can break through to the realm of sixth heaven Daozu. However, where is the sixth heavenly Tao ancestor so easy to break through? If it was so easy to break through, there would not be so many Taoist ancestors from the ninth level forces who were still in the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and sixth level Taoist realms. He is 90% sure that Daoshan Daozu is still in the realm of the fifth heavenly Daozu. Therefore, he must kill Daoshan Daozu as soon as possible, without giving Daoshan Daozu any hope of breakthrough. The Taoist ancestor of the Forbidden Temple obeyed the order and followed this seat to Daoshan. This time, this seat will step on Daoshan Chao. The Palace Master of the Forbidden Palace ordered. Yes, a Taoist ancestor appeared, and the dense atmosphere filled the world. If someone came here, they would definitely find that there were more than 100 Taoist ancestors in the Forbidden Temple. Chapter 1143 Battle between Forbidden Palace and Daoshan. Fifth more. The Palace Master of the Forbidden Palace brought more than 100 Taoist ancestors to Daoshan. Daoshan Boundary, the central chaos area. An incomparably huge Tao realm stands here. This is the first Tao realm in the Tao Mountain realm, and it is also the largest Tao realm. Countless universes around it are like stars dotted in the chaotic void. These universes and big universes are all subordinate universes of Daoshan, and they send a large number of geniuses to Daoshan. For a long time, I don't know how many detached people have detached from the universe and joined Daoshan. Because of this, Daoshan never needs to recruit geniuses in various places in chaos. Of course, if there is such a genius that defies the sky, Daoshan will also recruit. Of course, these subsidiary universes were not born naturally, but were moved by Daoshan from all over the Daoshan boundary. But since Daoshan has done this, other forces are not allowed to move the universe by the way, saying that it will affect the rules of the entire Daoshan boundary. This incident also caused the anger of many forces, but they did not dare to offend Daoshan. At this time, in the distance of the Dao Mountain Realm, the Dao ancestors of the Forbidden Temple came here. Looking at the huge Dao Mountain Realm and the countless universes, their eyes were full of cold light. The Forbidden Palace is not a benevolent force, and the Palace Master of the Forbidden Palace is not a benevolent person. Attack these universes and attract Daoshan Daozu to come out. The Palace Master of the Forbidden Palace ordered. Yes, the Taoist ancestors of the Forbidden Temple responded. One after another Taoist ancestors shot, and in an instant, 403 universes were exploded, like fireworks blooming in chaos, causing a terrifying tide of chaotic energy. This chaotic energy tidal impacted the Daoshan realm, causing the Daoshan realm to tremble. Every universe is blown up, which means that all the creatures in a universe have perished, and the dead creatures are almost impossible to count. But to the Taoist ancestors, it was nothing. But for the creatures in the universe, this is simply the end. Road Mountain. A Taoist ancestor was alarmed, and one after another, they reached out their divine senses and looked at the chaos outside the Daoshan realm. When they saw that the affiliated universes were hit by rays of light and turned into countless fragments, they were immediately angry. Their Daoshan has always been the largest transcendental force in the Daoshan realm. Even now, the emergence of the Xuanxu ancient realm has changed the power in the Daoshan realm, and their Daoshan has also taken refuge in the Tianai sect. But out of the ancient world of Xuanxu, in the chaos of the Daoshan realm, their Daoshan is still the largest force. Although other forces have united together, and there are many Taoist ancestors, but the Daoshan realm has the Daoshan Taoist who is at the peak of the 5th layer of heaven, then Daoshan is the 5th layer of heaven power. The star-horned beast family is not good enough, there are not many Dao ancestors, and they are not qualified to compete with Daoshan, and the other forces are at most only 4-layered forces. Therefore, they Daoshan have enough arrogance and confidence, and do not think that there is any force that dares to confront them. But now, someone, CJFI, has come to the door and destroyed so many affiliated universes. This is a provocation to Daoshan, and it is to fight Daoshan. Boom! A Daozu from Daoshan flew out of Daoshan world, and even Daoshan Daozu, the realm master of Daoshan world, came out. There are also a lot of Taoist ancestors in Daoshan, and the specific number is very mysterious, but now almost all the Taoist ancestors of Daoshan have come out, and their number is also very shocking, nearly 300 Taoist ancestors. The key is that the quality of Daozu's Daozu is very high, unlike the original Zushan lineage, which is basically a first-level Daozu. There is a 5th-level Taoist ancestor, 9 4th-level heavenly Taoist ancestors, dozens of 3rd-level heavenly Taoist ancestors, nearly 100 2nd-level heavenly Taoist ancestors, and the rest are 1st-level heavenly Taoist ancestors. This scale is enough to easily hang the Void Heaven lineage, and even the overall strength of the Forbidden Temple is not as good as Daoshan. But at this moment, the Taoist ancestors of the Forbidden Hall were not afraid at all. It's you, the Lord of the Forbidden Palace. You brought more than 100 Taoist ancestors to my place, and you also destroyed so many of my universes. Could it be that you want to go to war with our Taoist mountain? 1. Daoshan Daozu asked. That's right, the palace master of the Forbidden Palace said coldly. You can think clearly, Daoshan Daozu warned. If there is a war, your Forbidden Palace may be completely destroyed, and you may also fall and die. Are you afraid? The palace master of the Forbidden Palace sneered. Joke, I would be afraid. Daoshan Daozu said domineeringly. I am the founder of Daoshan's practice, and I am the peak Daozu of the 5th heaven. Soon I will be able to step into the ranks of the 6th heaven. I will afraid of you being banned. Aren't you afraid? The palace master of the Forbidden Palace stepped out, and the breath belonging to the 5th heavenly Dao ancestor burst out. Then now, are you afraid? What, you have stepped into the ranks of the 5th heavenly ancestors? How is it possible? Your foundation is unstable, and your origin is even more flawed. It is impossible to break through so quickly. Daoshan Daozu couldn't believe it. Die. The palace master of the Forbidden Palace stopped talking nonsense and killed the past with a spear weapon. This weapon is not an ordinary weapon, but a low-level taboo weapon. During his long years of wandering on the edge of the dark forbidden area, he has indeed obtained some forbidden and strange objects, plus some of the Forbidden Palace's harvest from the ancient world of Xuanxu. Forbidden strange object, he spent most of the forbidden strange object to create this low-level forbidden weapon. Although the level is not high, this forbidden strange object can increase his combat power by at least 50%. I'm afraid you won't make it. Daoshan Daozu also killed the past. Although his strength has not broken through to the ranks of the 6th heavenly Dao ancestor, he is much stronger than before. But as soon as he confronted the palace master of the Forbidden Palace, his expression changed. Boom! Daoshan Daozu was directly blown away, and the taboo weapon spear even poked a blood hole in his body. In this collision, Daoshan Daozu was completely at a disadvantage. Forbidden Realm. Open. Countless taboo powers turned into taboo fields, shrouded this area, bound Daoshan Daozu, and the terrifying dark forbidden power continued to invade Daoshan Daozu's body, affecting his body time and time again. The taboo field is very powerful. It is an ability that can only be obtained after the taboo body is completed. However, it needs a lot of dark taboo power to maintain it. However, in order to kill Daoshan Daozu, the Hall Master of the Forbidden Palace did not care about this, and directly attacked Daoshan Daozu in the strongest form. KRR. Daoshan Daozu has been hit hard again and again, and the strength of both sides is not at the same level. The combat power of Daoshan Daozu is only the ordinary Daozu of the 5th layer of heaven, but once the Hall Master of the Forbidden Palace broke through to the realm of the 5th layer of Daozu, the combat power directly soared to the top of the 5th layer of Daozu. Of course, this is the strength that has been improved with the help of the dark taboo power and the taboo body. If there is no dark taboo power and taboo body, the Hall Master of the Forbidden Hall is just an ordinary 5-layer heavenly ancestor. The other side. The Taoist ancestors of Daoshan and the Taoist ancestors of the Forbidden Temple began to fight. They thought that the Taoist ancestors of Daoshan could crush the Taoist ancestors of the Forbidden Temple by virtue of their quantity and quality. However, an unexpected scene happened. The Taoist ancestors of the Forbidden Temple brought almost all the information of the Forbidden Temple, and used all kinds of treasures to increase combat power, and also used all kinds of life-saving things. Therefore, although the Taoist ancestors of Daoshan have the upper hand, it is more difficult to kill the Taoist ancestors of the Forbidden Hall, and it will take a long time. After all, when the strength gap is not too big, it is more difficult for one Taoist ancestor to kill another Taoist ancestor. The Taoist ancestors of the Forbidden Temple thought very simply, that is, to delay the time until the Hall Master of the Forbidden Temple killed the Taoist. In that case, the Palace Master of the Forbidden Palace can help them kill the Tao ancestors of Daoshan. Day by day, Daoshan Daozu's injuries became more and more serious. It seems that defeat is inevitable. If no one comes to rescue him, he will eventually fall. Although he took refuge in Tianheizong, the Taoist ancestors of Tianheizong were not willing to pay a huge price to wake up from his deep sleep and come to rescue him. Therefore, no one will come to save him. Master of the Forbidden Palace, let's stop making peace. I am willing to pay treasures to compensate you. Daoshan Daozu begged for mercy. As the founder of Daoshan Realm, and also the first Tao Patriarch of Daoshan Realm, how embarrassing it is for him to beg for mercy like this. It can be said that the prestige accumulated over countless years has collapsed instantly today. Begging for mercy, dream. The Palace Master of the Forbidden Palace said coldly. He didn't dare to spare Daoshan Daozu. If Daoshan Daozu broke through and entered the 6th heaven's power soon, he would not be an opponent. At that time, Daoshan Daozu will probably come to take revenge on him. He didn't want to see such a scene, so he had to kill Daoshan Daozu today. Chapter 1144 Daoshan perishes. 6th more. Wow. A forbidden silk thread slid across the neck of Daoshan Daozu, directly cutting off his head. Daoshan Daozu regenerated a head, but was pierced by a spear from the head of the Forbidden Temple. In this way, Daoshan Daozu, who was seriously injured, was severely injured by the Palace Master of the Forbidden Palace again and again, and he had no resistance at all. Now he is only relying on his recovery ability and life-saving means to consume it again and again. But as time goes by, his recovery speed is getting slower and slower, and the life-saving things are gradually exhausted. In the blink of an eye, 3 years have passed. For Taoist ancestors, a mere 3 years is nothing. However, due to their battle, countless universes nearby were destroyed one after another, and even many true ancestor-level powerhouses in the Tao Mountain realm knew that it was not good, and they escaped from this area one by one. Obviously, they also know that the Daoshan realm is probably not guaranteed, and they are not optimistic at all. Daoshan realm. Compared with honor in life, these true ancestors chose honor. Of course, there are not many true ancestors in the Daoshan world. Most of the true ancestors are in the ancient Xuanxu world. Only some true ancestors who have just been promoted or are preparing to be promoted to Daozu stay in the Daoshan world. Come and save me. Daoshan Daozu put his hope on those Taoist ancestors in Daoshan, hoping that they could come to rescue him. Whoa whoa whoa, 3 4th level heavenly Daozu came over and wanted to rescue Daoshan Daozu. They do not expect to be able to defeat the Palace Master of the Forbidden Palace, that is not realistic. They only hoped to hold the palace master of the Forbidden Palace so that Daoshan Daozu could relax a little and escape for their lives. After all, if Daoshan Daozu falls, Daoshan will be completely gone, and they will not be able to survive, so Daoshan Daozu must be saved. However, they overestimated their own strength and underestimated the strength of the palace master of the Forbidden Palace. Puff puff. Several taboo spears cut through the void in an instant, nailing several fourth-level Heavenly Dao ancestors in the chaotic void. Go away, just a few of your fourth Heavenly Dao ancestors want to save people. The palace master of the Forbidden Palace sneered. For him now, the fourth-level Taoist ancestors are just ants. Except for the fourth-level Taoist ancestors like Shu Tian Daozu, who are worth seeing, the other four-level Taoist ancestors are not qualified to block him. After several fourth-level Heavenly Dao ancestors were seriously injured, they did not dare to save Dao Mountain Dao ancestor, but fled at the fastest speed. Yes, they ran away. It's not that they are not afraid of death, but they felt that there was some hope for saving Daoshan Daozu, so they went to save them, maybe they could escape. But now, there is no hope of saving Daoshan Daozu, and he still has to die. Daoshan Daozu said angrily. If all the Taoist ancestors came to rescue him and sacrificed their lives at all costs, he really had hope of escaping. However, this is not realistic. With the escape of several fourth-level Taoist ancestors, the other Taoist ancestors also had no intention of fighting and began to flee. Before long, Daoshan Daozu couldn't hold on anymore. With the penetration of the last taboo spear, Daoshan Daozu's vitality was annihilated, and he completely fell and died. After the master of the Forbidden Hall beheaded Daoshan Daozu, he began to kill Daoshan Daozu. Although some Taoist ancestors ran away, many Taoist ancestors were still entangled by the Taoist ancestors in the Forbidden Hall. The palace master of the Forbidden Palace showed an invincible posture, and he could kill a second or third Heavenly Dao ancestor with just a few moves. Soon, more than 100 Taoist ancestors of Daoshan were killed by the master of the Forbidden Hall, and the other Taoist ancestors fled. In this regard, the palace master of the Forbidden Palace does not care. The purpose of his trip was not to kill the Dao ancestors of Guangdao Mountain. His goal was only to kill Daoshan Daozu. Now that Daoshan Daozu has fallen, the biggest goal has been accomplished. Kill all the descendants of Daoshan Daozu. If anyone escapes, they will be wanted in the Daoshan border. The Lord of the Forbidden Palace issued an order. Boom! Many Forbidden Temple masters entered the Daoshan realm and launched a new round of massacres. This kill took 10 years to kill. Of course, in the end, the Forbidden Palace did not destroy the Daoshan realm, and after a little renovation, it was used as a stronghold of the Forbidden Palace. Virtual world. Zushan Daozu was very surprised when he learned the news that Daoshan realm was breached by the Forbidden Hall. Daoshan Daozu has fallen. Shu Tian Daozu sighed endlessly. In the past, Daoshan Daozu was also the target of his pursuit, and it was a big mountain in the hearts of countless strong people in the Daoshan realm, and it was a majestic mountain that was difficult to climb. But now, this mountain has collapsed, representing the arrival of a new era. It seems that the palace master of the Forbidden Palace has broken through to the realm of the 5th-level Taoist ancestor, otherwise there is no way to kill the Taoist. Zushan Daozu murmured. And he has now reached the peak of the 4th-level heaven, and he has a clear path to breaking through the 5th-level Taoist ancestor. When his supreme swordsmanship is deeper, and with the help of a few treasures, he can forcibly break into the 5th-level Taoist realm. With the power of the strongest swordsmanship, it is not weak in the ranks of the 5th-level Tiandao ancestors and may be comparable to the previous Daoshan Daozu. Mysterious ancient world, Tianheizong. The power of Junjun Mountain was destroyed by the Forbidden Temple, and he was stunned, but he had no idea of revenge for Daoshan. After all, the Taoist ancestors of Tianheizong can't be easily born at present, and the Taoshan is destroyed, even if the Taoist power of the ancient world of Xuanxu is still there, but the value is far less than before. Therefore, Tianheizong's anger was only vented internally, and there was no external reaction. The Daoshan real country, which was established by the Daoshan forces in the ancient world of Xuanxu, has also become low-key. All the true ancestors returned to the real country and strictly guarded the real country, for fear that the true ancestors of the Forbidden Hall would attack. But they think too much. The true ancestors of the Forbidden Hall will not attack them. After all, the strength of the two sides is similar. Once the war really starts, the loss will be too great. But, Daoshan Zhengguo has no rear protection, and Tianheizong does not pay much attention to them, and will inevitably be surpassed by the Forbidden Hall in the future, until one day, Daoshan Zhengguo will be broken and the real kingdom will be completely destroyed. Maybe it won't be too long before this scene happens. Ask for flowers. Daoshan was destroyed. Yi Tian was a little stunned when he heard the news. He had never been in contact with such figures as Daoshan Daozu and the Hall Master of the Forbidden Temple, but he had also heard many legends. The potential of Daoshan Daozu is still not very good. Although it is the first Daozu of Daoshan boundary, the pattern is too small and too ordinary. Yi Tian muttered, ordinary has no advantages, and although the Master of the Forbidden Palace has great defects in his origin, he has mastered the power of darkness and taboos. As long as the defects are made up, the future potential is unknown. Therefore, it is not surprising that the Palace Master of the Forbidden Palace killed Daoshan Daozu. After the Palace Master of the Forbidden Palace destroyed Daoshan, he did not do much, nor did he attack the other major transcendental forces. The Forbidden Palace did not dare to go too far, otherwise the other forces would unite and the Forbidden Palace would not be able to defeat it. For example, in the Temple of the Gods, there are not many top powerhouses, but there are too many true ancestors, enough to beat the Forbidden Temple by the number 0. Of course, the temples of the gods did not dare to provoke the Forbidden Palace, otherwise, no one would be able to stop the assassination of the Palace Master of the Forbidden Palace. As time passed, Daoshan was gradually forgotten, and the Forbidden Palace ushered in an explosion, and its strength increased rapidly. This day, Yi Tian finally had a piece of good news: his forbidden body was raised to 60%. This is mainly due to Yi Tian's realization of some forbidden ways, which caused him to absorb the forbidden strange objects many times faster than before, so the speed of tempering the forbidden body is naturally faster. With the help of a large number of taboo strange objects, he has tempered the taboo body to 60%, and his strength has ushered in a small transformation. According to Yi Tian's current strength, it is enough to compare with the ordinary 4th-level Heavenly Dao Ancestor, and can easily kill the invincible True Ancestor's ultimate powerhouse. And Yi Tian also has a feeling that he is not very far from the ultimate of Supreme True Ancestor. For example, no matter how he cultivates the forbidden technique now, the power of the flesh, the power of the True Ancestor, and the power of the soul are still very slow, as if they are about to reach their limit. And his middle Thousand Dao techniques have reached the limit level one by one, and he can't improve the great Thousand Dao techniques. It can be said that there are not many aspects that Yi Tian can improve, so it is difficult to greatly improve the combat power. Another period of tens of thousands of years passed. On this day, Yi Tian met Ouyang Zhuor again. At this time, he found that Ouyang Zhuor had a lot of Dao-level natural talents, and he didn't ask. But he felt that Ouyang Zhuor's breath was much stronger than before. I am afraid that he has reached the pinnacle of the Supreme True Ancestor and is stronger than him. Zhuor, have you reached the pinnacle of the Supreme True Ancestor? Yi Tian asked. Well, I just arrived not long ago. Ouyang Zhuor said with a smile. Brother Yi, I think your strength is about to reach this level. It's estimated that it will take several million years. Yi Tian estimated, but suddenly, Ouyang Zhuor said solemnly, Brother Yi, you have to be careful, the Heavenly Emperor Palace has a big move. Chapter 1145 The Big Move of Tiandi Palace. 7th more, please complete order. There is a big move in the Tiandi Palace. 1. Yi Tian was surprised and asked quickly, Zhuor, where did you get the information? Ouyang Zhuor said, it is inconvenient to say the source of the information now, but I can tell you for sure that it is true. And this time the action is very big. I am afraid that countless true ancestors and a large number of Taoist ancestors will fall, so you cannot participate, don't get involved. Even if you get involved, don't let your loved ones get involved, or the chances of them falling are too great. What exactly is it? Yi Tian asked seriously. Ouyang Zhuor said earnestly, to tell you the truth, the plan of the Heavenly Emperor Palace has always been to provoke the struggle of the major forces, and let a large number of living beings fall, especially the Dao Ancestor level. The more Dao Ancestors who have fallen, the better. Why? Yi Tian frowned. It is said that the Heavenly Emperor Palace is very strong. If they make a move, it should not be difficult to kill a large number of Taoist ancestors and destroy a large number of sects, right? There are a lot. Ouyang Zhuor shook his head and said, they don't dare to make a move, otherwise the Heavenly Emperor Palace will be afraid if other forces join forces. Do you really think that the major forces have no trump cards? For example, high function, the 403, power can be mysterious. It is very. As for why they let so many true ancestors and Taoist ancestors die, it is mainly related to the taboo world. Do you think the taboo world is so easy to be born? The price has caused the ancient world of Xuanshu to continue to grow and eventually evolve into a taboo world. But because the number of Taoist ancestors has fallen a lot recently, they are planning a big thing recently, and they are preparing to kill a large number of Taoist ancestors. If the plan is leaked, won't the Tiandi Palace fall short? Yi Tian asked. No, Ouyang Jor said. Even if the plan is leaked, many people can't help but jump in, because this time the opportunity is indeed too great, and the arm of the Tiandi Palace is big enough to cause a lot of Daozu to go crazy. 1. With Ouyang Jor's narration, Yi Tian finally understood what the Heavenly Emperor Palace's plan was this time. A large forbidden treasure is about to be born. Moreover, the Heavenly Emperor Palace has placed a taboo treasure that can evolve into the future in that large forbidden treasure land. This is a taboo treasure that all Taoist ancestors cannot ignore. However, the Heavenly Emperor Palace was not willing to hand over the forbidden treasure, so many settings were made to completely lock it with the forbidden treasure. Except for the 3 palace masters of the Heavenly Emperor Palace, no one else could take it away. Can enter the forbidden treasure land and use the forbidden treasure to evolve the future road. Moreover, the value of a large-scale forbidden treasure land is too great. Forbidden treasure land like the Forbidden Mountain Range and Forbidden Forest can only be regarded as a general forbidden treasure land. Forbidden treasure land like the ancient Forbidden Well can be regarded as a medium-sized forbidden treasure land, and it is not a top medium-sized forbidden treasure land. Barely reach the threshold of a medium-sized taboo treasure. From this, it is conceivable how many forbidden strange objects and forbidden treasures will be born in the large forbidden treasure land. Under normal circumstances, a large forbidden treasure land will definitely produce more than 10 forbidden treasures, which is enough to make the Supreme Tao Ancestor and the Invincible Tao Ancestor go crazy. Heavenly Emperor Palace has paid a huge price this time. They resisted not taking the forbidden treasure from the large forbidden treasure land, and even posted a forbidden treasure, just to kill those Taoist ancestors. You can imagine that this time how many Taoist ancestors will go in. What's more important is that the large forbidden treasure can initially block the rules of the ancient world of Xuanshu. Although it is difficult for the Tao ancestors to exert their strength, they can persist for a long time, and they will not be forced to sleep and seal after coming out for a while. Therefore, in a large forbidden treasure land, the fighting will definitely be extremely tragic. Ouyang Jor said. Yi Tian was silent, he had to say, even he was moved, he knew it was dangerous but he still wanted to go in. It is conceivable that even if other Taoist ancestors knew that this was a conspiracy, they would definitely break in and compete for those opportunities. For example, the road to the future of evolution, who doesn't want to take a look? Many Supreme Tao ancestors and Invincible Tao ancestors have come to an end and are very confused about the future. If you look at the future road, you will hopefully break the shackles and advance to a higher level. Yi Tian knew very well that if Ouyang Jor didn't say anything, he didn't know much about that large forbidden treasure, and maybe he would really bring Xiao Yu and a pair of children inside. After all, Xiao Yu's strength has also reached the realm of the invincible true ancestor. Yi Xingchen and Yi Xingyu are the true ancestors of the strongest. Their strength has improved rapidly, and they have acquired the Tao level natural talent. It is estimated that it will take a long time to grow to the top Xion. Taoist fighting power. At that time, with the help of the Xingchen blade and the Xingyu blade, they will be able to fight against the weaker invincible true ancestor. Therefore, they, who are not weak, also want to enter the forbidden treasure to have a look. In that case, once the war broke out, he would not be able to protect his relatives at all. Once his relatives fall, he can't believe his state of mind, and it is estimated that he will collapse and go crazy. 9. Thank you for reminding me. Yi Tian said gratefully. It's nothing, but don't leak it out, otherwise once the Heavenly Emperor Palace finds out, they will even kill you at all costs. Ouyang Jor reminded. Yes, I know. Yi Tian nodded. Tiandi Palace. The 3 palace masters are discussing the large-scale forbidden treasure plan. Palace Master Junwu, is the matter settled? Palace Master Qinglong asked. It's dealt with, Junwu Palace Master said. I personally put the Haoshan Emperor Mirror, a medium taboo treasure, in the Forbidden Treasure Land, but the price is a bit high. The Haoshan Emperor Mirror, the Forbidden Treasure. I will only gain if I am willing to do so. Moreover, the opening of the Haoshan Emperor Mirror, a peculiar taboo treasure, requires a lot of blood of the true ancestors and the Taoist ancestors. Otherwise, the power of the Taoist ancestors will not last long. Those invincible Taoist ancestors are the most powerful Taoist ancestors in order to open the Haoshan Emperor. Mirror opens up the future path for itself, and will inevitably kill. Such a taboo treasure with big flaws, no matter how useful it is, we must be willing. Otherwise, according to the current progress, it is too slow and too slow. Could it be that you really want to waiting for billions of years to come? Said the master of Qinglong Palace. Okay, since the plan has been set, let's implement it, there is no need to discuss this. The Lord of the White Tiger Palace said. Palace Master Qinglong and Palace Master Junwu nodded and stopped discussing this. The three Palace Masters also studied the plan in detail. When will the large forbidden treasure be exposed? How should there be a change? These issues, they must be considered clearly to ensure the perfect completion of this plan. Years go by, 100,000 years pass. Yi Tian's current true ancestors' power, physical power and soul power have reached the pinnacle after cultivating forbidden techniques, and it is difficult to improve no matter how much he cultivates forbidden techniques. In addition, the thousand path technique of the Vajra battle body has also been cultivated to the limit and cannot be improved any further. Moreover, it is difficult for the taboo body to continue to improve after it has been tempered to 60%, and now even the progress of 61% has not been reached, as if it has fallen into a shackle. The only thing that has made some progress is the taboo, and he has learned a few more taboos. This is good news, but it is still a long way from understanding all the taboos. This day, Yi Tian was retreating, feeling that the entire ancient world of Xuanxu was shaking. Something big happened. The human race, countless true ancestors went out, and they all looked for the source of the shock. Yi Tian knew very well that a large forbidden treasure land had been born. He couldn't stop the true ancestors of the human race, he could only convey a message as much as possible. The forbidden treasure land was dangerous and abnormal. Even if the invincible true ancestor entered, it would be a near-death experience. As for whether or not anyone will listen to what he has to say, he will not care. If a large number of the true ancestors of the human race went in and fell, it would be that their own lives were not hard enough and their luck was not good enough. Father, Yi Xingchen and Yi Xingyu came to Yi Tian for the first time. Father, what happened? Why is the entire ancient world shaking, and I feel that there is a taboo rule permeating far away? Yi Xingchen asked. There should be a large forbidden treasure land born, but this time, you are not allowed to go. Yi Tian exhorted. 5.8. Why? Yi Xingchen frowned. Because this time is a conspiracy, I am afraid that countless true ancestors and Dao ancestors will fall into that large forbidden treasure, even the strongest Dao ancestors will fall. Others can't help but go in because of greed, but you can't go in. If there is a big harvest, I will bring it to you. If you go, I can't protect you. Yi Tian sighed. Being able to let Yi Tian say the words that could not protect them, Yi Xingchen understood the danger. He is not stupid, he knows that his father must have inside information, but it is inconvenient to say it. At this time, he should not cause trouble to his father, and insist on clamoring to go in. So, Yi Xingchen said, Father, I just don't want to go. Yi Xingyu was also very sensible, and said quickly, Father, I'm not going either. Xiao Yu and Yi Yu listened to Yi Tian's words very much, and they didn't like slaughter very much, so they didn't plan to go. But Yi Tian is going to go, but he is not going with his own body, but let the copy body Zhu Jishan will pass. In this case, even if Zhu Jishan falls into a large forbidden treasure, he will have no influence. Chapter 1146 The Fire King and #039, Greed and Desire. First update. The real country of Kangshan. This is a small real country, there are not many creatures, most of them are some aboriginal races, and the one in charge of the real country of Kangshan is a four-layered power, the Kangshan sect. The Kangshan sect found a resource-poor area in the ancient world of Xuanxu, divided it into a region, opened up a real country, and developed its power here. Although it is difficult to recruit any talented people, it can be mixed. But today, Kangshan sect and Kangshan True Kingdom ushered in the end. Boom! The void was squeezed away, and a huge forbidden treasure land seemed to descend out of thin air. The sudden birth crushed the real country of Kangshan, as if the entire real country was covered by this forbidden treasure land. The impact of this is that the true kingdom of Kangshan shattered, and countless creatures were swallowed up by the power of darkness and forbidden. The Taoist ancestors of Kangshan sect were forced to wake up one by one, but before they could enjoy the benefits of the forbidden treasure land, a large number of true ancestors poured into this forbidden treasure land and clashed with the Taoist ancestors of Kangshan sect. The Taoist ancestors could not exert their strength when they were born, and the strongest Taoist ancestor of Kangshan sect was also the fourth-level Taoist ancestor, so they were quickly wiped out by a large number of true ancestors. Strictly speaking, the destruction of the Kangshan sect was purely due to greed. If they did not try to snatch the resources of this large forbidden treasure, they would not have all perished. And the news of this large taboo treasured place quickly spread throughout the ancient world of Xuanxu. Countless forces had heard the news and rushed over as quickly as possible. Tianheizong, Hebo Junzu was very excited when he heard the news of the large forbidden treasure land. After reporting it to the Taoist ancestors, he led a large number of true ancestors to the forbidden treasure land. Mi Tianzong, Wanyu Temple, Tianjianzong, King Kong City, and Tiandaomen all went to the large forbidden treasure land. This large-scale forbidden treasure land is similar to a magma world, so it is also called the Forbidden Land of Fire. Black Wind Mountain. Yi Tian led many generals such as General Zusha, General Modian, General Fengxing, etc., and a large number of peak masters descended on Huayan Tabu land as the Jujishan general, and some generals even brought their own legions there. Yi Tian didn't dissuade him either. Even if he said it, these generals and peak masters would not necessarily listen. Besides, if the family was lucky and really got an amazing opportunity, wouldn't he destroy others' chances by discouraging others? Therefore, he did not interfere with anything, whoever wanted to go. Fire is taboo. Yi Tian and the many true ancestors of Haifeng Mountain came here and entered it without any hesitation. The Huayan Forbidden Land is full of magma fields, and the air is also filled with a strong dark forbidden power, and it is very violent, completely different from the mild dark forbidden power of other forbidden treasures. If there is not enough strength, I am afraid that entering this forbidden place of fire will die on the spot. And, boom, a magma monster the size of a majestic mountain emerged from the magma field, and a large magma hand patted the many true ancestors. Die. The blood fiend general shot, a shot pierced the magma monster, and instantly killed it. However, the strength of this magma monster is not weak, it is also a forbidden bloodline creature, and it has the strength of the top true ancestor. Yi Tian used the copy talent to investigate and found that there are many magma monsters in the magma field, and they basically have the combat power of the top true ancestor. If a single top true ancestor is attacked by the magma monster, the opponent has the local combat advantage. If you are accidentally surrounded by multiple magma monsters, you will be in danger of falling. Separate, Yi Tian said. In such a forbidden treasure land, collective action is indeed relatively safe, but the harvest is not easy to distribute, and if the treasure is snatched at the critical moment, how can there be time to distribute it? Therefore, looking for forbidden treasures separately is the best way. Certainly, many true ancestors of Haifeng Mountain have contact methods with each other. If they are in danger, they can be saved. If they cannot be saved, there is nothing they can do. Yi Tian acted alone, looking for forbidden strange objects. Large-scale forbidden treasures will have a large number of forbidden strange objects, and at least 10 or more forbidden treasures. If you find one forbidden treasure, you will make a lot of money. Of course, finding the forbidden treasure, once discovered, will unexpectedly become the target of others. The large forbidden treasure land is very large. From the outside, it is as big as a small true kingdom, and the interior is comparable to a large true kingdom, not smaller than the size of the virtual naive kingdom. It is conceivable how many resources and treasures such a huge forbidden treasure land contains. It can be said that the value of a large forbidden treasure is far beyond the imagination of a third-level power. 1 piece, 2 pieces, 3 pieces. Yi Tian found more than 30 forbidden strange objects in just a few days, as if forbidden strange objects were very common here, and also found several high-level forbidden strange objects. Not only did Yi Tian find many forbidden strange objects, but other true ancestors also found quite a few forbidden strange objects. It is conceivable how many forbidden strange objects there are here. All the true ancestors are crazy, and almost all the true ancestors above the top of the entire Xuanxu ancient world have come. And inside Huayan Tabu land, fighting is everywhere. I don't know how many true ancestors killed people in order to snatch forbidden rare objects. After all, by killing a true ancestor, it is possible to obtain several or more forbidden rare objects. The supreme true ancestor killed the top true ancestor, the invincible true ancestor killed the strongest true ancestor, and multiple invincible true ancestors surrounded and killed an invincible true ancestor. Suffice to say, it's too confusing here. And Yi Tian is very clear that this is just the beginning. Finally, on the 6th day, the first forbidden treasure was born. Huayan Forbidden Land, an area of magma volcanoes. The 3 supreme true ancestors found a black-red fire lotus here, surrounded by taboo rules, and the rich taboo source escaped, turning this area into a treasure land for cultivation. The birth of the taboo source is the characteristic of the taboo treasure, so this fire lotus is a forbidden treasure, and it is also a forbidden treasure containing the forbidden source of fire, which is very precious to the Taoist ancestors of the Fire Road. Regardless of its specific purpose, a forbidden treasure is enough to drive anyone crazy. These 3 came together, just for this treasure. And soon, the news leaked out. Immediately, a large number of true ancestors of Huoyan's taboo rushed over. Huoyan is taboo extraterrestrial. The figures of Taoist ancestors appeared one after another, and these Taoist ancestors finally couldn't bear it anymore. Among them, there are many 5th level and 6th level Taoist ancestors, and there are also many 7th level Taoist ancestors, and even the 8th level Taoist ancestors came. Boom! The Taoist ancestors came to the outside of the Huoyan taboo one after another. At this time, many Taoist ancestors clearly sensed that the rules and suppression of the ancient world of Xuanshu had weakened a lot. It may still be difficult to exert their strength, but they can at least remain in the Huoyan taboo for a long time, will weaken the strength. For example, once a supreme Taoist ancestor was born, if he did not return to sleep for a short period of time, his strength would decline very seriously, but now it is difficult to greatly reduce his strength even after staying for a year. For a time, many Taoist ancestors were excited. Some weak Taoist ancestors dare not compete for the forbidden treasure, that is the battlefield of the strongest Taoist ancestors, and they focus on other treasures. For example, some high-level forbidden strange objects and top-level forbidden strange objects 403 are also very valuable. And when the Taoist ancestors saw the true ancestors of other forces, they shot directly without saying a word. In this way, many true ancestors who were not powerful were miserable, and they were intercepted and killed by Tao ancestors one by one. Of course, there were also Taoist ancestors who were killed by the true ancestors, but after all, they were a minority. The birthplace of the Forbidden Fire Lotus. The 3 supreme true ancestors have not yet decided the winner, and one invincible true ancestor came here first, killing the 3 supreme Taoist ancestors in an instant. But waiting for these invincible true ancestors to snatch the forbidden treasure, the Forbidden Fire Lotus, the supreme Taoist ancestors will come. As a result, these invincible true ancestors quickly retreated and did not dare to participate, otherwise any supreme Taoist ancestor would have the strength to kill them. Of course, these supreme Taoist ancestors are also the sect elders of these invincible true ancestors, and the goal of these supreme Taoist ancestors is taboo treasures, so they will not kill those invincible true ancestors who are watching. Tianheizong, Midianzong, Wanyu Temple, Haifeng Mountain. The most powerful Taoist ancestors of each and every force have come. The Fire King of Haifeng Mountain yearns most for this forbidden fire lotus, and his eyes are full of greed. Wind King, you have to help me. This forbidden fire lotus has helped me a lot. I have a feeling that it can help me advance to the invincible Tao ancestor realm. The Fire King said, it is sure to help you, but don't expect too much. If it was so easy to be promoted to invincible Daozu, I would have been promoted long ago. The Wind King responded, anyway, this is a hope, I must fight for it. The Fire King gritted his teeth. His talent is not as good as the Wind King, his strength is not as good as the Wind King, and his luck is not as good as the Wind King. If he loses this opportunity this time, he really doesn't know if there is any hope of being promoted to invincible Daozu. Therefore, in order to compete for this forbidden fire lotus, he must do whatever it takes, even if he casts a forbidden technique this time. Chapter 1147 Unparalleled Daozu, Invincible Daozu. 2nd. The breath of the many supreme Taoist ancestors locked the taboo fire lotus, and whoever shot it would hit anyone. For a time, none of the Xian true ancestors could do anything. The Wind King is very strong, and he is also doing his best to help the Fire King to snatch the forbidden fire lotus, but it is of little use. In an instant, this magma volcano and its annexed territories were wiped out, leaving only such a taboo fire lotus standing there. No one dares to destroy the taboo fire lotus, but no one wants to easily steal the taboo fire lotus. Unexpected, a terrifying breath descended, causing many of the strongest ancestors to stop. There is an invincible Taoist ancestor. The Wind King frowned. He didn't expect that a forbidden treasure would have attracted the attention of the invincible Daozu, and it came in person. At the level of the invincible Daozu, ordinary taboo treasures are useless, at most they are used to cultivate direct lineages, and it is undoubtedly the rare taboo treasures that are useful to them. But this forbidden fire lotus should not be particularly rare. It is very likely that it is of great help to the supreme Taoist ancestor of the Fire Road, and should not help the invincible Taoist. It stands to reason that the invincible Daozu should not wake up and come. At the same time, he was a little curious as to which invincible Tao ancestor the visitor was. Click, the void split open, and a figure came out. This man's face is white and cold, like a handsome young man, but like a ruthless killer, with his hands behind his back, he is full of invincibility. Seeing this person, the 3 supreme true ancestors of Tianzong said respectfully, meet the peerless Tao ancestor. It's him. All the Supreme Tao ancestors changed color. Unparalleled Taoist, one of the invincible Taoist ancestors of Mi Tianzong, and a relatively young Taoist, are one of their former juniors. Before the rise of Wushuang Daozu, he had the reputation of a young master Wushuang in the Haohai Sea realm. He was very suave, but after being betrayed by a woman, his style of painting changed completely, and he became ruthless. Anyone who disobeyed him, he would kill them all. On the way of Wushuang Daozu's growth, there were bloody killings. But his talent is very fast. Although he has not been able to break through the shackles of the invincible true ancestor and the supreme true ancestor, he has reached the pinnacle of the invincible true ancestor, and has dominated an era with several other invincible true ancestors. I want this forbidden fire lotus. Wushuang Daozu said coldly. A supreme Taoist ancestor opened his mouth and said, Unparalleled Taoist ancestor, you are too overbearing to ask for a forbidden treasure as soon as you come. Noisy. Wushuang Daozu made a move, and one hand turned into a white jade. It was a supreme Tao technique, and it was also his famous Tao technique, the white and pure Tongtian hand. Boom. In an instant, the supreme Tao ancestor was knocked out, and a hole was punched in his chest. Of course, such an injury can't kill the supreme Tao ancestor, but it really hurt the supreme Tao ancestor. If he continued to attack many times, he might really be able to inflict heavy damage but kill him. It's a pity, if my strength is not suppressed, killing a supreme Taoist like you is enough. Wushuang Taoist said coldly. This is not bragging, but fact. Under the suppression of the ancient world of Xuanshu, the invincible Daozu like him has more strength to be suppressed. Now the strength he exerts is between the 4th layer Tiandaozu ultimate and the 5th layer Tiandaozu, and the strength of the supreme Daozu is between the ordinary 4-fold heavenly Dao ancestor and the top 4-layer heavenly Dao ancestor. Therefore, it would take a little time for Wushuang Daozu to kill a supreme Daozu under such circumstances. But if he really stared at a supreme Taoist ancestor and did not give up, and attacked him with all his strength, he could definitely kill him. After the supreme Dao ancestor was injured, he did not dare to speak, lest Wushuang Dao ancestor would really kill him at all costs. At this time, the Fire King was very unwilling and seemed to want to do something. Seeing this, the King of Wind hurriedly said, King of Fire, don't be impulsive. He was afraid that the Fire King would recklessly snatch the taboo fire lotus, and even if he grabbed it, he would definitely be hunted down by Wushuang Daozu. In that case, the two of them will not be the opponents of Wushuang Daozu when they join forces, and the Fire King is likely to fall because of this. I see, the Fire King replied. But then, he said again, but I am not reconciled, this is my only chance. Hearing this, the Wind King's expression changed, and he wanted to stop it, but it was too late. Swish, the Fire King came to the Forbidden Fire Lotus at the fastest speed, and reached out to grab the Forbidden Fire Lotus. Boom, the great horror has come. In an instant, the Fire King was severely injured. After all, this is the great terror of the Forbidden Treasure, and other Supreme Taoist ancestors did not dare to take it directly. Unexpectedly, the Fire King was so reckless, he directly reached out and grabbed the Taboo Fire Lotus. Receive. The Taboo Fire Lotus was put away by the Fire King, and the severe trauma on the body was also instantly recovered by a small half of the recovery treasure, but it was still in a state of serious injury. Fire King, you are courting death. Wushuang Daozu was angry. He has already announced that this Forbidden Fire Lotus is his, and there are still people who dare to snatch the Forbidden Fire Lotus with him. Although he doesn't really care about this Taboo Fire Lotus, he came to Hoyan Taboo Land this time just for a Taboo Fire Lotus, but he doesn't allow a Supreme Taoist ancestor to snatch the Taboo Fire Lotus with him. More importantly, the Fire King actually grabbed it. He hadn't noticed the Fire King's actions before, nor did the other Supreme Tao ancestors, because they didn't expect the Fire King to make a move. Damn, the Fire King is not strong enough, and there was no hope of getting the Forbidden Fire Lotus. But my arrival has stopped many of the most powerful Taoist ancestors. If the Fire King finally escaped with the Forbidden Fire Lotus, how would the outside world promote me? Quote. Unparalleled Daozu thought. At that time, I am afraid that many people will say that he is a wage earner working for the Fire King. Thinking of this, his murderous intent boiled. Call out. Wushuang Daozu moved and rushed in front of the Fire King at a very fast speed. White and pure hands. The white jade-like hand ripped apart all the rules and slayed in front of the Fire King. I saw that a set of black armor appeared on the body of the Fire King, which was the top Taoist defense armor of Haifeng Mountain. At the same time, a fiery red hood appeared on the Fire King's body. On the hood, there seemed to be an ancient chaotic golden crow roaring and soaring. However, all these defenses are useless in front of Wushwang Daozu. Puff! Taiwu's golden cover was forced, and Fire King's armor was also torn apart by Wushwang Daozu. Bang! The Fire King flew out and smashed a large magma area. Originally, the Fire King was not lightly injured, but this time it was even more severe. Unexpected, a big hand with only taboo rules appeared in the void, and it seemed to kill the Fire King completely. The Fire King fought hard and performed a Dao technique, which transformed countless primordial chaotic golden crows, and collided with the unparalleled Dao ancestors' palm technique. Boom! The void shook, and the rules collapsed. The Fire King was injured again and again, and he did not dare to fight Wushwang Daozu again, and turned into his own body, which was a primordial chaotic golden crow. I saw that after the Fire King turned into the primordial primal chaos golden crow, when he spread his wings, he would turn into a rainbow light to tear apart the void and escape. However, at this moment, Wushwang Daozu's eyes turned into two cold lights, which directly penetrated the Fire King's wings. Then, Wushwang Daozu appeared above the Fire King's head and punched the Fire King's body. Boom! The huge body of the Fire King fell down, and well, it was good turned into a human form again, but it was already very miserable and the combat power was reduced to a very weak level. Quote. Unparalleled Daozu, please be merciful. The Wind King finally spoke up. Wind King, you want to court death too? Wushwang Daozu said coldly. The Wind King quickly said, Unparalleled Daozu, my strength is indeed not as good as yours, but if you kill the Fire King, our Black Wind Mountain will be with you forever. Threat me. Wushwang Daozu laughed loudly. As Wushwang Daozu, a threatened person, I will kill the Fire King today, and then kill you, the Wind King, but I will see how High Function will not die with me. Endlessly. Having said that, Wushwang Daozu condensed a taboo spear, and would use this taboo spear to kill the Fire King. Go! The forbidden spear stabbed Fire King Zhou. The Wind King wanted to stop it, but he was locked by Wushwang Daozu's breath, and he flew out with one hand. However, just when the taboo spear was about to fall on the Fire King, a big fiery red hand suddenly appeared, annihilating the forbidden spear of the unparalleled Daozu with one palm. Then, a figure shrouded in flames walked out. Seeing this person, the Fire King quickly said with joy, Master. Chapter 1148. The previous generation of Fire King. 3rd. Master of the Fire King. Many Supreme Taoist ancestors are very puzzled. They have never heard of the Master of the Fire King, and the aura of the Comer is much stronger than that of the Fire King. He is an invincible Taoist ancestor. But what is the origin of this invincible Daozu? They have never heard of it. The previous generation of Fire King, the ancestor of the fire. Wushwang Daozu said. Liu Huo Daozu was a little surprised and said, You know me. He was not well known, and his previous identity was the Fire King, and others called him the Fire King, so others only knew the Fire King, but they didn't know his name as the ancestor of the fire. What? The previous generation of Fire King? Many Supreme Taoist ancestors were amazed. Could it be that the legend is true? The 10 kings of the Black Wind Mountain are just a code name. This code name is a title passed down from generation to generation, not a specific 10 people. Tianjian Sect's Wanjian Daozu said in shock. The expressions of the other Supreme Tao ancestors changed greatly. If this guess is true, then the strength of Haifeng Mountain is far from being as simple as before. The 10 kings represent the 10 Supreme Taoist ancestors. Although the realm was shattered in the battle, 4 of the 10 kings fell, leaving only 6 kings, but if the 10 kings of the previous generation were still alive, then the Black Wind Mountain would be lost. How many powerful Taoist ancestors are there? How many invincible Taoist ancestors are there? Of course I know you. Wushwang Daozu said. Although I don't know much about you High Function, but I also know a few people. One of them is you Liu Huo Daozu. It is said that you once came to a secret realm of our mission sect. He stole it, but was repelled by an invincible Taoist ancestor of our mission sect. There is such a thing, it is a long time ago. Liu Huo Daozu sighed. Immediately, Liu Huo Daozu glanced at Huo Wang, and then looked at Wushwang Daozu and said, Give me a face today, this matter is over, how about it? Don't think about it, a forbidden treasure, how could it be just like that? Wushwang Daozu killed Liu Huo Daozu and was not afraid of Liu Huo Daozu at all. Looks like we're still going to fight. Liu Huo Daozu murmured. Boom! The two invincible Taoist ancestors, Liu Huo Daozu and Wushwang Daozu, fought each other, and the other Supreme Taoist ancestors all looked at the Fire King. Today's Fire King is on the verge of death, and now is a good time to kill him. The Wind King's expression changed, and he was about to take away the Fire King and escape, but there were too many supreme Taoist ancestors around, almost as many as dozens. If you want to save the Fire King from so many powerful Taoist ancestors, the difficulty is enough to compare with the difficulty of killing the invincible Taoist ancestors. Just then, several figures appeared, and at the same time there were voices. Wind King, Fire King, we are here to help you. Boom. The other 4 kings of the Black Wind Mountain are here too. Gold King, Wood King, Ice King, She King. The other Supreme Tao ancestors saw these 4 Supreme Tao ancestors without any fear. They have dozens of Supreme Tao ancestors, and Haifeng Mountain has only 6 Supreme Tao ancestors this time, and only 5 Supreme Tao ancestors are fighting at this time, which is not a threat to them at all. However, just when the many Supreme Taoist ancestors were about to attack and kill, another taboo treasure appeared, and 2 of them appeared at once. Many Supreme Tao ancestors hesitated for a while, and quickly made a decision. Shish, a famous Taoist ancestor shuttled away to snatch other taboo treasures. After all, although some Supreme Taoist ancestors are eager to get the Forbidden Fire Lotus, the Forbidden Fire Lotus may not be suitable for them. Moreover, there are so many Supreme Taoist ancestors only to snatch a forbidden treasure, and there are 2 invincible Taoist ancestors here, the possibility of success in the snatch. Not much sex. Instead, it is better to snatch the forbidden treasure that has just appeared. In a blink of an eye, most of the strong Tao ancestors ran away, leaving only the 3 strong Tao ancestors of the Mitn sect and a few other strong Tao ancestors. It is difficult for these strong Tao ancestors to snatch the forbidden treasure on the Fire King together. That's it. The 5 kings of Haifunction protected the Fire King and retreated calmly, and the Forbidden Fire Lotus fell into the hands of Haifunction. When the 6 kings of Haifunction came out from the forbidden land of Huoyan, the Huawang thank you brothers for your help. You'd better thank Liu Huo Daozu. Shi Wang said. For you, Liu Huo Daozu's existence has been exposed. This is not a good thing for us in Haifeng Mountain, and it has suddenly become the target of many major forces. In addition, Liu Huo Daozu told us, let us immediately evacuate the forbidden land of Huoyan, don't participate in it, even if there are precious treasures, don't go in. Why? The Wind King asked. He hasn't gained anything yet. If he goes back to sleep like this, the loss will be huge. It can be said that he was born twice, and the next time he is born again, I am afraid it will be a long, long time. I don't know, Shi Wang shook his head, but we must obey the orders of the fire ancestors. I have a guess. It is estimated that the invincible Tao ancestors will descend on the Huoyan taboo land in large numbers. If this is the case, we will fall if we are not careful. Liu Huo Daozu is also for our safety and does not want us to sacrifice. Hey, then go back. The Wind King said unwillingly. The King of Wind, King of Fire, King of She, King of Gold, King of Wood, King of Ice returned to the small realm one by one, and then entered the land of deep sleep CJFI and began to continue to sleep. He couldn't help but run away. Fuck, forbidden treasure. Yi Tian was very surprised. He walked around casually, and unexpectedly encountered a forbidden treasure. Could it be that your luck is so good? This time, when he entered the Huoyan taboo land, he really didn't want to obtain the taboo treasure, the purpose was just to obtain some more taboo strange objects. He knew very well that many Supreme Tao ancestors had entered the Huoyan taboo land today, and he said that there were still invincible Tao ancestors coming. If he robbed the forbidden treasure, it would not be a good thing. He didn't want to experience the picture of being besieged by the Supreme Taoist ancestor. 18. The forbidden treasure was sent to me, and there are no other true ancestors nearby. If I didn't take it, it would be too much. Yi Tian thought to himself. Then, Yi Tian grabbed a dozen magma monsters and sent them to this forbidden treasure similar to a stick pile. Boom boom boom. The Great Terror was triggered, and the magma monsters were obliterated by the Great Terror. After all 9 magma monsters died, the Great Terror completely dissipated. One can imagine how terrifying the Great Terror caused by the forbidden treasure is. If Yi Tian faced this Great Terror, I am afraid that he would also fall and die. Walk. Yi Tian grabbed this forbidden treasure long stick and was about to leave here. But at this time, a Supreme Taoist ancestor had arrived. The Supreme Tao ancestor is the Tian Shu Tao ancestor of the 10,000 Domains Temple. He sensed the existence of Yi Tian and immediately said angrily, Jujishan General, stay with me. Tianshou Daozu was very angry. Before the Fire King of Haifeng Mountain robbed the Forbidden Fire Lotus, he finally sensed the breath of another forbidden treasure. Damn, you Haifunction are too domineering. Tianshou Daozu said angrily. He couldn't kill the Fire King of Haifeng Mountain, but he couldn't kill a true ancestor. He also knew that Yi Tian was the supreme true ancestor of Haifeng Mountain. If he could kill Yi Tian, it would be comparable to killing a supreme Taoist ancestor, which would be enough to make Haifengtian feel heartbroken. Boom! Tianshou Daozu punched the past, ignoring the distance, and directly landed on Yi Tian. The Great Wilderness Law, the ultimate level of Zongqin Daoshu, suddenly defended the punch of Tianshou Daozu. Although it was still broken, the passive defense Daoshu Vajra body was not broken. After 60% of the taboo body was weakened, the remaining impact was fundamental. Yi Tian can't be hurt in the slightest. What? The Vajra battle body at the extreme level, the Great Wilderness Dharma body at the extreme level, and the taboo body of 60%. Tianshou Daozu was shocked. Yi Tian actually cultivated the Vajra battle body and the Great Wilderness Dharma body to the extreme level in such a short period of time, and even raised the forbidden body to 60%. This speed is terrifying. He also knows a little about the supreme true ancestor, but he is not so evil. However, what he could never have imagined was that Yi Tian had integrated hundreds of Dao-level natural talents, plus there were 7 ancient world records to assist him in his cultivation. Except for Ouyang Zhuor, who was not as good as the reincarnation of the half-step ancestor, the progress of the other supreme ancestors was far inferior to him. The real spear. Yi Tian's backhand is a blow. Boom. The Wansha true spear sent Tianshou Daozu Zhen flying out, and even cracked one of his hands, and a trace of fresh blood flowed out. Although Tianshou Daozu's wound recovered instantly, he was not injured at all. But Tianshou Dao ancestor's eyes widened, revealing an incredible look. Monster, still at the true ancestor level, it is comparable to the ordinary 4th level heavenly ancestors, this is the supreme true ancestor. Tianshou Daozu murmured. Chapter 1149 Ouyang Zhu and Hashou 39, is here. 4th more. Tianshou Daozu knew that he couldn't kill Yi Tian, but he didn't want to let Yi Tian go. A forbidden treasure, although he doesn't know what it is, how could he easily give up? Chase. Tianshou Daozu quickly shuttled, chasing after Yi Tian. Yi Tian used the extreme speed of Tiangong, but after all, this is only a thousand path technique. Even if he has reached the limit level, the speed is not too fast. But Tianshou Dao ancestor is different, he has the supreme Dao technique, how fast he is, he catches up with Yi Tian in a short time, and fights with Yi Tian again. At this time, the other supreme Dao ancestors are about to come. I can't be held back by Tianshou Dao ancestor, otherwise, when other supreme Dao ancestors arrive, I have no way to get away. Yi Tian frowned, but his strength is comparable to that of Tianshou Daozu, but he is actually weaker, but his forbidden body has been tempered to 60%, while Tianshou Daozu's forbidden body has just been completed, so he can weaken more attacks. This led to being able to compete with Tianshou Dao ancestor on a par with each other. But in fact, his speed is much weaker than Tianshou Daozu, and his strongest attack power is also a little weaker. According to this battle comparison, he couldn't get rid of Tianshou Dao ancestor. Boom! Another supreme Taoist ancestor descended, it was the 8-cloud Taoist patriarch of the Heavenly Sword sect, who was even stronger than the Tianshou Daoist ancestor. Tianshou Dao ancestor, the forbidden treasure is on you. Yayan Daozu asked. Bayan Daozu, can't you see that I am preventing Jujishan from leaving? The forbidden treasure is on him. Tianshou Daozu said coldly. The 8 Clouds Dao ancestor immediately joined the ranks of besieging Yi Tian, and the 2 supreme Dao ancestors suppressed Yi Tian easily, and even beat Yi Tian continuously. Unexpected. Another breath of the strongest Dao ancestor was approaching. Yi Tian knew that he could not delay any longer. He took out a leaf, it was a taboo void leaf, it was an escaped taboo strange item, it was one of the most valuable taboo strange things he owned, and he had always been reluctant to use it, but now he had to use it. Wow! Taboo void leaf turned into taboo rules to wrap Yi Tian, and instantly broke through the space of taboo and left here. The speed was so fast that even Daozu Bayan and Daozu Tianshou couldn't stop it. A forbidden wonder of escape. Humph, we have it too. 8 Cloud Dao ancestor and Tianshou Dao ancestor also used similar escaping taboos to chase and kill Yi Tian. It has to be said that Yi Tian still underestimated these supreme Dao ancestors. To be able to cultivate into a strong Dao ancestor, he has few flaws and is very comprehensive in all aspects, so it is too difficult to get rid of a supreme Dao ancestor. Somewhere in the forbidden land of Huoyan, Yi Tian's figure appeared, and immediately left here quickly. But unfortunately, the chasing and killing abilities of the supreme Dao ancestors are too strong, and they came here almost in an instant, and they sensed Yi Tian's position and came after them again. For the supreme Taoist ancestors, Yi Tian's magical powers and secret techniques that conceal his breath are all useless, so don't even think about escaping. Soon, the news that Yi Tian snatched a forbidden treasure spread out, and many powerhouses learned about it. Flame Forbidden, another place. General Zusha, General Modian and others also heard about this, and they frowned and worried. Master Jujishan will be chased and killed by many supreme Taoist ancestors, it's a bit dangerous. Bloody General murmured, can you ask the King of Wind and the others to rescue Lord Jujishan? Asked General Modian. No, General Zusha shook his head, I just tried to contact the Wind King. The Wind King has returned to the Black Wind Mountain, and said that he will not participate again this time, and let us leave as soon as we can, do not participate in the fire. The competition for Forbidden Land. But how can we give up? There are too many forbidden strange things here, you can get a lot of them just by looking for them. General Modian also sighed, it was obviously impossible for them to give up, and the King of Wind was unwilling to participate, so there was no way to support the heavenly General Juji. I can only rely on Lord Juji Tianzhong himself. The blood evil general sighed. Time passes by little, there are more and more Supreme Tao ancestors chasing and killing Yi Tian. Of course not all Supreme Tao ancestors come to chase and kill Yi Tian. After all, the forbidden treasures of Huoyan Taboo Land are not one or two. The more taboo treasures were born, the other Supreme Taoist ancestors also went to snatch them. However, Tao Ancestor 8 Clouds and Tao Ancestor Tianshou refused to give up and kept chasing Yi Tian, causing Yi Tian to use a lot of forbidden items, but he still couldn't get rid of the pursuit. Unexpected, when Yi Tian was shuttling, he was suddenly caught by a white and tender hand. Yi Tian wanted to resist, but sensing the familiar aura, he stopped immediately. 9 children. Yi Tian was pleasantly surprised when he saw the person in front of him. You try to hide your breath, and I will use the shadowless divine step, so that the supreme Taoist ancestors will not be able to sense your presence. Ouyang Jor said quickly. Yi Tian nodded. Yi Tian's breath disappeared, and with the help of the shadowless god step, it seemed that he completely disappeared from the heaven and the earth. This world does not have any information about him or his past. Shish, 8 Cloud Tao Ancestor and Tian Shu Tao Ancestor came to this area, but they couldn't sense Yi Tian's existence, and they performed a variety of tracking secret techniques, but they still couldn't detect it, and immediately frowned. How is it possible? How did the aura of the Juji Heavenly General disappear? Tianshou Daozu was puzzled. I can't find him either. Yayan Daozu said, could it be that he has fallen? It's impossible to fall. Tianshou Daozu hurriedly retorted. His strength is not much weaker than our strength, and he is the supreme ancestor. Even if the injury is serious, it can be repaired with the power of the source. The power is endless, how can it be so easy to be killed, and it is still killed instantly? Unless it is the ancestor of the domain, it is almost the same. Ask for flowers. It is estimated that some kind of treasure has been used that has been reluctant to use, and it has been completely hidden. Yayan Daozu guessed. Couldn't find Yi Tian anymore. The 2 supreme Tao ancestors didn't want to waste time, so they left quickly and went to snatch other taboo treasures. 9. Thank you. Yi Tian thanked. If it wasn't for Ouyang Jor this time, he would be in trouble. In the end, he would not die. At most, he would lose this duplicate body, as well as a large number of taboo strange objects and a taboo treasure. I also heard your news and came here. You are very courageous. You know that the forbidden treasure is something that the supreme Taoist ancestors robbed, and you dare to snatch it. You think you are me and can easily avoid the supreme Taoist ancestors investigate. Ouyang Jor rolled his eyes and said. I really didn't go to snatch the forbidden treasure, but the forbidden treasure appeared in front of me. If I didn't take it, wouldn't it be stupid? 0. Yi Tian explained. Let's not talk about this. I have already determined where the forbidden treasure stored in the Heavenly Emperor Palace in Huoyan Forbidden Land is. Ouyang Jor said mysteriously. Found that forbidden treasure. Yi Tian was very moved, and immediately said, can we take it away? We can't take it away, unless we pack up the Huoyan taboos and take them away. Ouyang Jor joked. Yi Tian said again, isn't that taboo treasure able to evolve the future path? Should we start it first and evolve the future path for ourselves? 1 inch. No, Ouyang Jor said. That forbidden treasure is called the Haoshan Emperor Mirror. It takes a lot of blood of the true ancestors and Taoist ancestors to activate it. Otherwise, it will not be able to activate for a long time by relying on its own strength. During this time, the true ancestors fell. I've been collecting corpses a lot. You can also collect some corpses as soon as possible. The corpses of the forbidden bloodline creatures can also be collected. When the time is enough, they will be sacrificed to the Haoshan Emperor Mirror. It is good. Yi Tian nodded. Immediately, the two began to walk in the forbidden land of Huyan, collecting forbidden strange objects while collecting the blood of the corpses of the true ancestors, Taoist ancestors, and forbidden bloodline creatures. Just like that, time passed slowly, and another day passed. At this time, 9 forbidden treasures had appeared in Huyan's forbidden land. Among them, Yi Tian snatched one, Ouyang Juer snatched one before, Fire King snatched one, Tian Heizong snatched one, Wanyu Temple snatched one, and Mi Tianzong snatched one. As for the whereabouts of the other 3 forbidden treasures, no one knows. Brother Yi, let's go to the Haoshan Emperor Mirror. Now that the forbidden treasure has almost appeared, the Tiandi Palace will reveal the Haoshan Emperor Mirror at any time and start their plan, so let's go and use the Haoshan Emperor Mirror first. 1 inch. Ouyang Juer urged. Immediately, the two set off and quickly headed to the place where the Haoshan Emperor Mirror was located. Chapter 1150 A Massacre. 5th, Huyan Taboo Land, a Hulu Mountain. Surrounded by magma rivers, the rules on the mountain are manifested, forming a cloud of taboo rules. Unexpected, 2 figures came here, it was Yi Tian and Ouyang Juer. That's it, Ouyang Juer pointed at Hulushan Road in front of him. Yi Tian's divine sense probed the past, but did not find the Haoshan Emperor Mirror, but found a lot of forbidden strange objects. The Haoshan Emperor Mirror is not on the mountain, but on the rule cloud. There is a huge space inside. We will know when we go in, Ouyang Juer said. Woohoo, Yi Tian and Ouyang Juer flew into the rule cloud, and they came to a huge space. In this space, a huge black gold mirror emerges in the void, connecting with the rules of heaven and earth. It stands here, as if it is natural, without a trace of foreign interference. If Juer didn't tell me, even if I saw this clear sky Emperor Mirror, I would still think it was born here, and would never think that someone put it here. Yi Tian murmured. Ouyang Juer said, the Haoshan Emperor Mirror is a very secret forbidden treasure in the Tiandi Palace. Even some emperors of the 403 in the Tiandi Palace do not know the existence of this treasure. After all, the price to open it is too high. Tiandi Palace can't use the lives of countless true ancestors and Taoist ancestors to help a Taoist ancestor evolve the future path. If this treasure is exposed, I'm afraid many emperors have bad thoughts. If I didn't have a special information channel, I'm afraid I wouldn't know that the Heavenly Emperor Palace owns the Haoshan Emperor Mirror. Let's start. It is estimated that this place will be exposed soon. Even if no one finds it here, the Tiandi Palace will move a little bit, and if there is a little vision here, there must be a large number of true ancestors and Tao ancestors coming here. At that time, we will be in trouble. Ouyang Juer urged. Yi Tian took out a large number of true ancestors and some Tao ancestor corpses that he had collected, and sacrificed them to the clear sky Emperor Mirror in front of him. On the other side, Ouyang Juer also began to sacrifice the corpses of the true ancestors and Taoist ancestors. Boom! The Haoshan Emperor Mirror emits light, constantly absorbing the blood life force of those powerhouses. Unexpected, Yi Tian saw scenes of future cultivation from the Haoshan Emperor Mirror. These scenes seemed to be personal experiences. They demonstrated various possibilities for him in the future, and finally found a path that was most suitable for him. Of course, this is not the real future, it just provides a correct cultivation path. But this is better than seeing the future directly, at least it won't take a detour, and everyone's future is not necessarily on the right path, and many people have gone astray. Yi Tian saw that he was constantly comprehending the taboo Tao of cultivation, and he realized one by one taboo Tao, and finally realized the complete forbidden Tao, and then merged with his own infinite Tao to form his own endless forbidden Tao. After that, he broke through to the realm of Taoist ancestors with the endless forbidden Tao. Afterwards, he created his own forbidden Taoist technique, which was superior to the supreme Taoist technique, invincible in the world, and became the strongest invincible Taoist ancestor. After that, he realized a hint of the mystery of the domain ancestor, and he continued to practice, making progress toward the half-step domain ancestor. But suddenly, the picture disappeared, and many insights came to an abrupt end. I saw that the countless corpses had been turned into ashes, the power of sacrifice was exhausted, and the future road he watched was cut off. It feels so bad. At this time, Yi Tian could not wait to kill countless true ancestors and Tao ancestors to continue to observe the future path. But soon, Yi Tian calmed down. No wonder Juer said that once the Haoshan Emperor Mirror came into existence, countless true ancestors and Taoist ancestors would fall and die. The temptation of the Haoshan Emperor Mirror was so great that even a supreme true ancestor like me who didn't worry about the future was almost possessed. Now, the other Supreme Tao ancestors who can't see the future path must be even more crazy. The invincible Tao ancestors may still want to kill the Supreme Tao ancestor. I will kill other true ancestors and Tao ancestors at all costs, just for the future to evolve further. Yi Tian secretly said. The other side, Ouyang Jor also ended the evolutionary path and seemed to have gained something, with a smile on her face and a very good mood. Let's go, let's continue to collect corpses. But you have to calm down, let's not take action, only collect the corpses of the slain true ancestor and Tao ancestor. Ouyang Jor said. Yi Tian nodded. He had calmed down a long time ago, and naturally he would not be so reckless. After Yi Tian and Ouyang Jor left, Yu Junzu came to discover the Haoshan Emperor mirror and wanted to take away the Haoshan Emperor mirror, but found that he couldn't take it at all. Soon after, the news of Haoshan Emperor mirror, a forbidden treasure, spread, attracting a large number of true ancestors and Taoist ancestors, and even the most powerful Taoist ancestors. Haoshan Emperor in front of the mirror. A group of true ancestors and Tao ancestors gathered here, but they didn't do anything. It seemed to be very harmonious. After all, there was no way to take away the clear sky Emperor mirror. Boom! The first supreme Taoist ancestor descended. He was the Tianshou Taoist ancestor of the 10,000 Domains Temple. Afterwards, Daozu of Tianqi, Daozu of Tianqi, Daozu of Pokong, Daozu of Slaying Silver, Daozu of Blood Gang, Daozu of 10 Kills, Daozu of Secret Sword, Daozu of Wanjian, Daozu of 8 Clouds. One after another, the strongest Taoist ancestors descended, and they tried to steal the Haoshan Emperor mirror, but soon found that even they couldn't take this forbidden treasure. This forbidden treasure is completely locked with this large forbidden treasure, and it should be the most precious forbidden treasure in this large forbidden treasure. Yakumo Daozu commented. Immediately, they began to study the usefulness of this forbidden wonder. I saw that when Yayan Daozu poured his own power into the Haoshan Emperor mirror, he saw a picture of the future road. It's a pity that the power was consumed too fast, and he did not continue to pour in the power. This is a forbidden treasure for evolving the future path. 8 Cloud Daozu was extremely excited. What it meant, he knew very well. He can use this forbidden treasure to evolve the path of the invincible Tao ancestor, and even go to the path of the half-step domain ancestor. The future is bright and there is no longer any shackles. That is, he went crazy. He knew very well that what this taboo treasure lacked was some kind of energy, and as long as the energy was satisfied, it could be turned on all the time. He tried to incorporate some forbidden Tao stones into the clear sky Emperor mirror, but it was of no use. Soon, he researched it. What the Haoshan Emperor mirror needs is the energy that contains the breath of life, but he alone cannot meet the energy needs of the Haoshan Emperor mirror. Immediately, he turned his attention to the true ancestors and the weaker Taoist ancestors. Boom! The 8 Clouds Daozu took action on these true ancestors, and the power of the Daozu turned into threads, easily running through the body of a famous true ancestor. One true ancestor fell and died, and thousands of true ancestors were lost in a blink of an eye. Yayan Daozu, are you crazy? The other Supreme Tao ancestors were furious. Some of the true ancestors who were killed were people from their sect, and Yakumo Daozu wanted to go to war with them in an all-round way. However, the 8 Cloud Daozu continued to kill the true ancestors regardless, and even a few 6th-level heavenly ancestors were killed by him, and all the bodies were collected by him. A few seconds later, another Supreme Daozu Secret Sword Daozu shot, not to stop the 8 Cloud Daozu, but also to kill those true ancestors. At this time, the other Supreme Tao ancestors understood no matter how stupid they were, and when they thought about the previous actions of the 8 Cloud Tao ancestors and the Secret Sword Tao ancestors, they quickly understood the effect of the Clear Sky Emperor mirror. For a time, the true ancestors became the targets of their slaughter. Even if the younger generation of their own sect was killed, they didn't care. Nothing is more important than the road ahead. The true ancestors and the weaker Taoist ancestors wanted to escape, but they couldn't. This group of Supreme Taoist ancestors quickly killed these true ancestors and the 5th and 6th heavenly Taoist ancestors. Subsequently, these Supreme Taoist ancestors began to sacrifice these corpses to the Haoshan Emperor mirror, opening the way for the evolution of the future. Soon, they saw the correct path to become the invincible Daozu one by one, and many insights came to their hearts one by one, so that 5.8 they completely understood how to attack the invincible Daozu and how to go on. Certainly, due to the limited bodies of the true ancestor and Tao ancestor, the future path has not evolved to the half-step ancestor level. As a result, the gazes of the Supreme Tao ancestors looked at each other to the other Supreme Tao ancestors. We don't need to kill each other. It is very difficult for everyone to kill a Supreme Taoist ancestor. We don't know when the winner will be determined. Why don't we go out and come back after killing enough true ancestors and ordinary Taoist ancestors? How? Yayan Daozu suggested. Can. Many supreme Taoist ancestors responded. In the following days, countless true ancestors in the forbidden land of Huyan ushered in a catastrophe, and were constantly attacked and killed by the supreme Taoist ancestors, and even died suddenly while walking on the road. Yi Tian and Yang Zhuo saw this scene, but they couldn't control it. The attraction of the Haoshan Emperor mirror is too strong. No one can ignore the Haoshan Emperor mirror, unless it is a half-step domain ancestor who will not care about the Haoshan Emperor mirror. Soon, the invincible Dao ancestors also learned the news of the Haoshan Emperor mirror, and one by one began to descend on the taboo land of Huyan, and the battle here escalated instantly. Chapter 1151 The Ancestor of the Secret Sword has fallen. First update. Secret Sword Daozu is fleeing, behind him is the invincible true ancestor Liu Huo Daozu of Haifeng Mountain. Liu Huo Daozu has never left Huyan taboo land. After all, he finally came here. If there is not enough profit, he will not leave easily. And this time, he also valued the ability of the Clear Sky Emperor Mirror. If he can use the Clear Sky Emperor Mirror to evolve the path of the half-step domain ancestor, then he has the hope of entering the realm of the half-step domain ancestor. No matter how powerful the invincible Dao ancestor is, he is far from being the opponent of the half-step domain ancestor. A half-step domain ancestor can easily kill an invincible Taoist ancestor. For example, the 3 palace masters of the Heavenly Emperor Palace, their orders, those emperors did not dare to disobey, because the strength gap was too great. However, it is too difficult for invincible Daozu to reach the half-step ancestor realm. This time, the invincible Dao ancestors have been here for a long time, just want to use the Clear Sky Emperor mirror to find the hope of entering the half-step domain ancestor, so they will spare no expense. Today, the true ancestors have been killed too many true ancestors are hidden, and if they kill one by one, the speed is too slow. Therefore, the invincible Taoist ancestors set their sights on the strongest Taoist ancestors. Liu Huo Daozu saw the secret sword Daozu and naturally did not want to let him go. Liu Huo Daozu, I have no grudges and no grudges against you, I am willing to give you all my treasures, how can you spare my life like 29? Secret sword Daozu begged for mercy. No way, he couldn't beat Liu Huo Daozu at all, and now he is seriously injured. As for threatening Liu Huo Daozu with Tianjianzong, don't be ridiculous, Tianjianzong is only the 8th heaven power, he is the strongest combat power of Tianjianzong, what does he use to threaten Liu Huo Daozu? No need, your treasure is garbage to me. Liu Huo Daozu said coldly, I only want your life. Boom, the secret sword Dao ancestor was covered by the endless sea of fire, and every ray of flame was filled with the ultimate Dao fire, representing the extreme of the avenue of fire, and its power can be imagined how terrifying. Secret sword Daozu turned his body into a sword and wanted to rush out. However, the extreme fire turned into a chain of rules that bound the secret sword Daozu, making him unable to escape at all. The strength gap between the two sides is a little big, and it is not at the same level at all. If it wasn't suppressed, it would not take a few tricks for Liu Huo Daozu to kill the secret sword Daozu. Now that the secret sword Daozu could resist for so long, it was because he had occupied the Liu Huo Daozu's strength and could not exert his strength. After a while, secret sword Daozu really couldn't hold on anymore. Click, secret sword Daozu's body shattered a little bit, and his sturdy Taoist-like soul also shattered like broken porcelain, and it disappeared little by little as light spots. The sky rained blood, and the avenues screamed. The secret sword Daozu has fallen. Liu Huo Daozu put away the body of secret sword Daozu and left here quickly. Fire is taboo. Yi Tian looked at the wailing of the rules in the void now, and blood rained everywhere, and understood that this was the fall of a supreme Taoist ancestor, and a silver long sword and a slightly familiar appeared in the wailing of the avenue. The figure can recognize the identity of the other party. Heavenly Sword Sect's secret sword Taoist. Secret sword Daozu has fallen, it's a pity. Yi Tian muttered. He and Tianjianzong are enemies, but he has to admit that Tianjianzong's luck is not very good. Today, the strength of the Heavenly Sword Sect has been greatly reduced. The fall of a supreme Dao ancestor also made Yi Tian realize how dangerous Huoyan taboo land is now, not to mention that the true ancestor will die at any time, even the supreme Dao ancestor will die if he is not careful. Next, Yi Tian and Yang Zhuo were more careful. But unfortunately, it is impossible to pick up the corpse at this time. Everyone knows that corpses can be sacrificed to the Haoshan Emperor mirror, so as to evolve the future path. How could it be possible to kill people and leave corpses behind? Ouyang Zhuor and Yi Tian were not in a hurry to go to the Haoshan Emperor Jingjing. Maybe there was the invincible Daozu there. If they went now, wouldn't they be self-defeating? Those invincible Daozu would not mind killing the two of them, robbing them of the forbidden treasures and the collected corpses, and even sacrificing both of them. Immortal Real Country. This is the real country of the Immortal Gate. Originally, the Immortal Real Kingdom was peaceful, but on this day, a figure ripped apart the world barrier of the Immortal Real Kingdom and came here. He, the 7th Heavenly Dao Ancestor of the 8th Heavenly Power Heaven Demon Sect, Limo Dao Ancestor. At this time, Limo Daozu looked at the countless lives of the Immortal Real Country, and couldn't help but smiled cruelly. It is too dangerous to hunt the real ancestor in the taboo of Hoyan, and he will be hunted and killed accidentally. One by one, the real kingdoms plundered life, and then found a suitable opportunity to enter the ancient mirror and the forbidden treasure to sacrifice life and evolve the future path when no one was there. Stay there. The ancient mirror is forbidden to take the treasure and cannot be taken away, and it is impossible for the supreme Taoist ancestors and the invincible Taoist ancestors to stay forever. Thus, it gave him hope. The big deal is to collect a lot of life first, then go back to sleep, and then find a chance to go out again. The reason for looking for Immortal True Kingdom is because he happens to be nearby, and Immortal True Kingdom has no invincible true ancestor, so no one can stop him. Swish, Limo Daozu came to a starry sky continent, and with a wave of his hand, countless lives flew into Limo Daozu's inner world like ants. In this way, all the lives on the starry sky continent were plundered by him, including many true monarchs and weaker true ancestors. Soon, the behavior of Limo Daozu was discovered. A large number of true ancestors want to besiege Limo Dao Ancestor, but the strongest Immortal Gate is only the strongest Dao Ancestor. Limo Dao Ancestor is not an opponent of Limo Dao Ancestor. Then, the Immortal Gate began to ask for help, and asked for help from other forces in the Pantheon. An Immortal Sect True Ancestor even entrusted him with the True Ancestor of the Moon and the True Ancestor of the Moon shooting, Yi Tian. Human Race. The True Ancestor of Sheui from the Zushan Temple came to visit Yi Tian. This time he listened to Yi Tian's suggestion and did not go to the Forbidden Land of Hoyan, but now that he heard the situation of the Forbidden Land of Hoyan, he did not dare to go. Soon, Yi Tian came out. True Ancestor of 10,000 Laws. True Ancestor Sheui said respectfully. What's the matter? Yi Tian asked. The True Ancestor of Sheui quickly told the story of the Ancestor of Limo Dao, and asked the True Ancestor of the method for help. The Ancestor of the Power Demon plundered the life of the Immortal Real Kingdom. Yi Tian understood the plan of Limo Daozu as soon as he heard it. It was clearly to use a huge amount of life to sacrifice to the Clear Sky Emperor Mirror. This was also a method, but it required too many lives. Moreover, he is sure that there may be many Taoist ancestors who will also have this plan. Certainly, the Taoist ancestors did not stay in the Xuanxu ancient realm for a long time, and they did not dare to stay for a long time, so it was impossible to plunder too many lives. But if they were allowed to plunder, a true kingdom would probably be destroyed by more than half. Moreover, the Immortal Real Kingdom is not very far from the virtual innocent realm. If he doesn't care, there may be 403 Dao ancestors who are more courageous and will come to the void innocent realm to plunder their lives. So, Yi Tian made a decision. Today, he wants to kill a 7th level Taoist ancestor, shocking the quartet, lest any ignorant Taoist come to court death. Okay, I promise, Yi Tian replied. Thank you Wanfa Daozu, Sheui Junzu thanked. Let's go, otherwise I'm afraid that Power Demon Dao ancestor will run away. Yi Tian took the True Ancestor Sheui to the Immortal Realm at the fastest speed. Ha 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 ha, it's too easy. The True Ancestor alone has killed tens of thousands, and the ordinary life has been plundered by an unknown number of trillions. This speed is much faster than the taboo in Hoyan, and it is too safe. There are many. Here, no one is my opponent. Do those rubbish Taoist ancestors of the Immortal Real Kingdom dare to come? They are also courting death. Limo Daozu laughed wildly. Unexpected, a wisp of breath came, making him feel a huge threat. Click, the void split open, and Yi Tian walked out from inside. The True Ancestor of all laws, it's you. Limo Daozu had a trace of fear. After all, Yi Tian is the supreme True Ancestor, and his strength is not weak, so he can't kill Yi Tian. However, he didn't know that Yi Tian's strength this time was much stronger than the last time, and it was already comparable to the weakened Supreme Dao Ancestor. Limo Daozu didn't want to be entangled with Yi Tian. After all, he had spent a lot of time in the ancient world of Xuanxu, and in a few minutes he would probably lose his strength. He didn't dare to spend it with Yi Tian, otherwise he would suffer, and he would fall if he was not careful. I saw that Li Mo Daozu turned into a black light and was about to escape, but Yi Tian used the taboo field and instantly bound him. At this time, Li Mo Daozu's expression changed greatly. Chapter 1152 Slaying the Seventh Heavenly Dao Ancestor. 2nd. Yi Tian's forbidden domain is too powerful, even if it is as strong as Li Mo, Dao Ancestor can't easily break through the forbidden domain, so there is no way to quickly escape from here. True Ancestor of 10,000 laws, do you think I'm afraid that you won't succeed? Li Mo Daozu was also angry. Boom! The body of Li Mo Daozu changed rapidly, turning into a huge bull demon that was hundreds of millions in height. This was his true body, a primordial chaotic life. I saw Li Mo Dao Ancestor ram towards Yi Tian after transforming into his body. This collision is like the destruction of the universe, and the might of the vast sea is crushed. Roll. Yi Tian drank it coldly, the great wilderness Dharma body opened, and the egoless vacuum suppressed the void, and motivated the taboo body, holding the true spear of Wansha, condensing the taboo paths, and slaughtered it through. Puff. The huge body of Li Mo Daozu was directly pierced, and countless flesh and blood flew. At the same time, the power of forbidden Dao kept invading the body of Li Mo Daozu, destroying his internal structure. What? The forbidden way? He was shocked. It is incredible that a supreme true ancestor has comprehended the forbidden way. If it is said that a supreme Taoist comprehends the forbidden way, it is quite normal. After all, the supreme Taoist has many opportunities, and it is still possible to comprehend a forbidden way after comprehending the forbidden way for a long time. But why did Yi Tian comprehend the forbidden way, and his attainments seemed to be not low? Then he was terrified. He underestimated Yi Tian's strength. This is an ordinary supreme true ancestor. He has almost reached the pinnacle of supreme ancestor, and his strength is comparable to that of an ordinary fourth-layer heavenly Dao ancestor. And under the suppression of the ancient world of Xuanxu, his strength can only exert the strength of the top 3 heavenly ancestors. Can't beat it. Li Mo Daozu wanted to escape, but was suppressed by both the selfless vacuum and the taboo domain, and it was difficult to escape. So he worked hard. Far away, the true ancestor Shui was stunned when he saw Yi Tian's battle with Li Mo Dao ancestor. He originally thought that Yi Tian could restrain Li Mo Daozu a little and let Li Mo Daozu leave in time, but he didn't think Yi Tian could suppress Li Mo Daozu. But I never imagined that this is where the power is evenly matched, and it is not a slight suppression but a crushing and crushing. Looking at this situation, Li Mo Daozu has the possibility of falling. Thinking of this, true ancestor Shui took a deep breath. Once upon a time, Yi Tian had to obey his arrangement, and his strength was far inferior to him. He didn't expect how long it had passed, and he didn't even have the qualification to look up to Yi Tian. With Yi Tian's current strength, I am afraid that he can be wiped out with just a single breath, and the strength gap between the two sides has reached a world of difference. As time passed, Li Mo Daozu's injury became heavier and heavier, coupled with the suppression of the rules of the ancient world of Xuanxu, his strength began to decline significantly. His strength has dropped all the way from the strength of the top 3 heavenly Dao ancestors to the strength of the advanced triple heaven ancestor, the strength of the medium triple heaven ancestor, the strength of the low-level triple heaven ancestor. Sudden, the strength of Li Mo Daozu has dropped to the strength of the second-level Tian Daozu, and he is also in a state of being seriously injured and dying. He knew that he would not be able to live, so he left a cruel sentence before temporarily, the true ancestor of all methods, you will sooner or later. Quote. Before he could finish speaking, Yi Tian's true 10,000 demonic spear passed through his huge mouth, and a blow penetrated his primordial bull demon's head, annihilating his last trace of vitality. Power Demon Dao Ancestor, fall. When Li Mo Daozu fell, many true ancestors of the immortal realm dared to approach. They looked at Li Mo Daozu's corpse, and the terrifying pressure of life still affected them, making them unable to even get close. Many thanks to the true ancestor of Wanfa. The only survivor of the immortal sect, the true ancestor Yun Mie, flew over and said gratefully, "It's okay, I'm leaving now." Yi Tian waved his hand, put away the corpse of Li Mo Daozu, and left in an instant. He didn't dare to leave Zutianzheng Kingdom for too long. If there were other 7th Heavenly Dao ancestors attacking Zutianzheng Kingdom would not be able to stop him. After returning to the human race, Yi Tian began to send avatars to patrol constantly to prevent Yu Dao ancestor from sneaking into the Kingdom of Void Heaven. But disasters similar to the real Kingdom of Immortality are happening all over the Xuanxu ancient world. Some Taoist ancestors were killed, but more Taoist ancestors were not under the jurisdiction. The real country under the domain and the real country under the three-layered power have suffered. Fire is taboo. An ancient invincible Taoist ancestor appeared, and after slaughtering a large number of true ancestors and Taoist ancestors, he began to evolve the future path with the help of the clear sky emperor mirror. In fact, they did evolve successfully, and they also showed the path of the future half-step domain ancestor level, allowing them to clearly see the future direction. But seeing clearly is one thing, wanting to do it is another. According to the future path of manifestation, these invincible Taoist ancestors have the hope of hitting the half-step ancestor, but it will take a long time to really hit the level of the half-step ancestor. The only thing that made the invincible Tao ancestors have substantial gains was that they killed too many true ancestors and Tao ancestors and confiscated their forbidden strange objects. But some forces are even more miserable. Not to mention the fall of countless true ancestors and Tao ancestors, they have not gained any benefits. Some of the true ancestors of the middle and third heaven forces have fallen by nearly 70% to 80%, and the strength of the sect has dropped significantly. In the blink of an eye, a year has passed. This year is almost a very dark year in the ancient Xuanxu world. The true ancestors of the entire Xuanxu ancient world have fallen close to 60%, and the Taoist ancestors have fallen no less than 300,000. Among them, the strongest Taoist ancestors have fallen 7 or 8, and even the invincible Taoist ancestors have fallen. They were all injured to varying degrees. But even if the true ancestor and Tao ancestor were killed, the invincible Tao ancestors would not be able to follow the path of their ancestors, as if they were always a little short of that. For this reason, the invincible Taoist ancestors fought each other. They believed that by killing a few invincible Tao ancestors, they could sacrifice the invincible Tao ancestor and evolve the path of the domain ancestor level. At this time, many invincible Tao ancestors had gone mad and completely lost their minds. However, the invincible Tao ancestors are all about the same strength, and it is difficult to tell the winner and the loser, and each one's life-saving ability is too strong. Tiandi Palace. Junwu Palace Master learned about the situation of the Hoyan taboo land through a special method, and seeing that the invincible Tao ancestors wanted to evolve the path of the ancestors through the Haoshan Emperor mirror, he couldn't help laughing. The road of the ancestors. The limit of the evolution of the Haoshan Emperor mirror is the half-step domain ancestor, and it is impossible to evolve the road of the ancestors, otherwise our Haohai ancestors will not hand over the Haoshan Emperor mirror to us in charge of Zhou. They don't know about the Haoshan Emperor mirror, so they will naturally look forward to it. The master of the Qinglong Palace said, "This time, too many true ancestors and Taoist ancestors have fallen, the origin of the ancient world of Xuanxu has greatly increased, and the success rate of the birth of the taboo world has increased by at least 30%. And if it continues to evolve at this rate, it is estimated that it will not be long before the ancient world of Xuanxu can grow into the ancient world. It's a pity that an invincible Taoist ancestor did not die this time." Palace Master Junwu regretted. Half-step domain ancestors do not make a move, the possibility of invincible Tao ancestors falling is too low. Said the master of Qinglong Palace. "Would you like me to take action?" Junwu Palace Master said. "Anyway, the ancient world will be born soon, and our heavenly Emperor Palace will be born soon, and the impact of taking action at this time is not very big." The Qinglong Palace Master hesitated, and the White Tiger Palace Master also pondered. Chapter 1153 Palace Master Junwu has taken action. Third. After a long time, the master of Qinglong Palace said, "Palace Master Junwu, if you take action, once you kill multiple invincible Taoist ancestors, the half-step ancestors hidden in the dark will probably also take action, and your identity will be difficult to hide." "You mean the half-step ancestor of Haifeng Mountain?" Palace Master Junwu frowned. "No, it's not just the Black Wind Mountain." The master of the Qinglong Palace said, "I suspect that each of the 3 major forces of the 9 heavens has a half-step ancestor. Some people have not shown up for a long time. The 3 9 heavens forces have always had hidden powers, and Haohai Heizu, who is the world master, is not convenient to investigate the internal situation of the 9 heavens forces. In fact, I do not let his heavenly Emperor Palace reveal the plan, and I am also worried that there will be 3 great 9 heavens forces. If there are 2 more half-step ancestors in Haifeng Mountain, then there will be 5 half-step ancestors, and our heavenly Emperor Palace has only 3 half-step ancestors." "Yes, my father did say so." The main road of the White Tiger Palace. Palace Master Junwu had also heard of this rumor, but he didn't quite believe it. Haifeng Mountain has half-step domain ancestors, he believes, but the 3 major 9-layered forces will have half-step domain ancestors. "Do you really think that half-step domain ancestors are so easy to give birth to 420? Of course, this possibility is not impossible. If they really have half-step domain ancestors, I can just lead them out this time, otherwise the Zhouzhongtian forces have hidden power, this is a hidden danger. Junwu Palace Master said. Okay, Palace Master Junwu, then please do it. Palace Master Qinglong and Palace Master White Tiger said in unison. Huo Yan Tabu, outside the space where the Haoshan Emperor mirror is located. 10 invincible Taoist ancestors are fighting. Among them, there are 3 invincible Taoist ancestors of the Scattered Cultivator, 2 invincible Taoist ancestors of Tian'ai sect, 2 invincible Taoist ancestors of Mi Tianzong, 2 invincible Taoist ancestors of Wanyu Temple, and 1 invincible Taoist ancestor of Haifeng Mountain. The 3 loose cultivator invincible Tao ancestors are united together. After all, they have no power and belong to a lonely family, so they cooperate temporarily, but Haifeng Mountain has only 1 invincible Tao ancestor this time, which makes the invincible Tao ancestor of the 3 major 9-layered forces feel a little strange. They do not think that there is only 1 invincible Tao ancestor in Haifeng Mountain. After all, there are many 10 kings in the history of Haifeng Mountain whose reputation is comparable to that of Lu Huo Tao ancestor, and several invincible Tao ancestors will inevitably be born. But the invincible Tao CJFI ancestor of the Black Wind Mountain does not come out, that is a good thing. Boom boom boom. The 10 invincible Tao ancestors continued to shoot, and the surrounding magma area collapsed, and the rules were chaotic. But no matter how they fight, there is no way to shake this large forbidden treasure land, and they cannot destroy the large forbidden treasure land. As the battle continued, Liu Huo Daozu was not lightly injured. After all, he was alone, and many invincible Daozu tended to attack him. No matter how powerful he is, how could he have beaten so many invincible Tao ancestors? Everyone, it's useless for us to fight like this. Besides, it is still unknown whether the ancient mirror taboo treasure can evolve into the path of the ancestors. It's too ridiculous for us to kill each other for an unknown number. Liu Huo Daozu persuaded. Go away, Liu Huo Daozu, don't think that we won't kill you if you say that. If you have the ability, you can ask your other invincible Daozu from Haifeng Mountain to come out, otherwise I will kill you today. The invincible Daozu of Mi Tianzong, Wushuang Daozu, roared. He disliked Liu Huo Daozu the most. From the beginning, Liu Huo Daozu stopped him from killing the Fire King, otherwise he would have killed the Fire King long ago and took away the forbidden treasure. Therefore, he wanted to kill Liu Huo Daozu very much. Liu Huo Daozu sighed and did not respond to Wushuang Daozu at all. It is impossible to call other invincible Daozu from Haifeng Mountain. This time, Haifengtian has already decided to send him only 1 invincible Daozu, and he dare not send too many. They vaguely guessed that this time was a big conspiracy of the Heavenly Emperor Palace, and Haifengtian also knew that the Heavenly Emperor Palace was causing major forces to fight, using the lives of countless true ancestors and Taoist ancestors to promote the evolution of the ancient world of Xuanshu towards the Forbidden World. Therefore, they did not dare to reveal their full strength, nor did they dare to send out multiple invincible Tao ancestors at one time, otherwise, Black Wind Mountain would be miserable if they were trapped to death. With the passage of time, Liu Huo Daozu's disadvantage became more and more serious, and his injuries gradually increased. Unexpected, a figure appeared not far away. The man wore a mask and was wrapped in a set of taboo armor. He could only sense the strong taboo rules, but could not sense other auras. This set of taboo armor is a taboo weapon, and it is also a very rare full-body defensive weapon. The mask is also a taboo weapon, which can hide the breath. Seeing this person, all the invincible Tao ancestors stopped, and their expressions changed drastically. Half-step domain ancestor. The 10 invincible Taoist ancestors kept retreating. What is a half-step domain ancestor? The first condition is that the forbidden body is tempered to the realm of Dachang. Half of the power of the Tao is converted into the power of the forbidden, it is converted into the power of the forbidden, not the forbidden attribute, these two meanings are not the same. And the forbidden body of this mysterious man has reached the culmination, it is estimated that it has the effect of tempering 80%, but it is not an ordinary culmination. Moreover, his forbidden weapon is extremely precious, and it can also increase his combat power. The reason they 100% determined that the other party was the ancestor of the half-step domain was that the other party contained a trace of the ancestor of the domain, which was the symbolic identity proof of the ancestor of the half-step domain. Who is your excellency? The unparalleled Daozu of Mi Tianzong asked in a low voice. However, the other party did not answer, but shot directly. Quick, too fast. I saw the opponent's hand turned into a forbidden hand, tearing everything and slashing over. Puff. Wushwang Daozu's hand was directly smashed by the opponent, and his entire body was also knocked out. Flee quickly, he is a half-step domain ancestor. With a trace of domain ancestor's breath, he can exert the strength equivalent to the 6th-level Taoist ancestor in the ancient world of Xuanxu. Wushwang Daoist reminded another invincible Taoist of Mi Tianzong and shouted. Want to escape? Palace Master Junwu sneered. Immediately, the forbidden area was activated, covering this area. His forbidden body has been tempered to the realm of Dacheng, how powerful the forbidden field is, and the binding force is too strong, even the invincible ancestors can't break free. Palace Master Junwu has no strength and Dao ancestor of Haifeng Mountain flowing fire, and Dawson cultivation is the most cost-effective plan. If you kill the invincible Dao ancestor of the Zhouzhongtian forces first, you may have just killed one, and the half-step domain ancestor may come, but killing the Sanshou invincible Dao ancestor is different. You may kill 3, and there will be no half-step domain ancestor. He didn't want to be blocked by killing just one person, that kind of feeling was very bad. Immediately, he set his sights on the invincible Taoist ancestor of the scattered cultivator Qinghe Taoist. Chapter 1154 The Taoist ancestor of the town. Another half-step ancestor. Fourth more. When Qinghe Daozu saw that the palace master Junwu was attacking him, he panicked. The Junwu palace master did not use any Taoist techniques, but only used the power of the taboo to fight the enemy, but the power of the half-step ancestors was too terrifying, so the strength displayed was extremely powerful and they were not comparable to these invincible Taoist ancestors. Puff! Qinghe Daozu was punched through, and the terrifying taboo rules spread inside him, completely hurting him. Afterwards, Palace Master Junwu attacked again, directly smashing Qinghe Daozu, healed, and then smashed into pieces. In this way, under the smashing again and again, the forbidden body of Qinghe Daozu collapsed, and the healing speed was extremely slow. Finally, in a cracking sound, Qinghe Daozu never healed, and his vitality was completely annihilated. When the Daozu of Qinghe fell, blood rained all over the Xuanxu ancient world, the avenues screamed incessantly, and countless blood-colored flowers were born in the void. This kind of vision stunned everyone. Huo Yan Taboo, somewhere. Ouyang Zhuor and Yi Tian were shocked when they saw this scene. Could this be? Yi Tian sucked in a breath of cold air and said. That's right, an invincible Taoist ancestor has fallen. Ouyang Zhuor said. The battle fluctuation in the distance should be the battle of the invincible Dao ancestor, but how could the invincible Dao ancestor fall so easily? Yi Tian wondered. There should be half-step ancestors participating in the battle. Ouyang Zhuor said solemnly. Half-step ancestors have a trace of ancestors' breath, which can resist the suppression of the ancient Xuanxu world to a great extent, and they can burst out in the ancient Xuanxu realm. Terrible strength. After a while, another vision of the invincible Dao ancestors' fall occurred. The second invincible Taoist ancestor has fallen. Yi Tian sighed incomparably. What a powerful existence is the invincible Daozu. I didn't expect that 2 of them fell in one day, but I don't know which forces invincible Daozu fell. After all, he didn't know much about the invincible Daozu. The Qinghe Daozu has fallen, and the phantom Daozu has fallen. At this time, Tianqin Daozu was very panicked. He could see it clearly. This person was killing the 3 invincible Taoist ancestors. He even doubted whether this person was the half-step ancestor of the Black Wind Mountain or the 3 major 9 heavens, but he did not dare to reveal his identity. Only to hide the identity shot. And killing the 3 of them doesn't need any scruples at all, because they have no power or backing behind them. If I had known it earlier, I would have joined a force. Tianqin Daozu regretted it. In less than 10 seconds, Tianqin Daozu did not know how many times he had endured the attack of the Junwu Palace Master, and he couldn't bear it even if he was good at defense. His body exploded and he died completely. The third invincible Daozu has fallen. The fall of the 3 invincible Taoist ancestors broke the hearts of the invincible Taoist ancestors of Haifeng Mountain, Midianzong, Wanyu Temple and Tianheizong. They knew the situation. This person was not a half-step ancestor of their own forces at all. So, they panic even more. 3 invincible Dao ancestors have died, who will be next? Wow, Daozu Banyu of Wanyu Temple felt that he was locked, and he was shocked. Your Excellency, I am the invincible Taoist ancestor of the Wanyu Temple. If you kill me, the Wanyu Temple will definitely be with you forever. Daozu Banyu shouted loudly. However, his threat was useless, and the Palace Master Junwu killed him. With just one blow, he was severely injured, and half of his body was knocked out by Palace Master Junwu. Although Daozu Banyu recovered in a flash, his injuries did not recover much. Tianyang Daozu, the 2 of us joined hands to contain him. If I die, you can't live. Daozu Banyu urged. Tianyang Daozu is another invincible Daozu of Wanyu Temple, but how dare Tianyang Daozu take action? The two of them shot together, and it was useless. But Tianyang Daozu still shot. After all, the two have a good relationship and are invincible Daozu of the same force. If he doesn't make a move, Banyu Daozu will probably fall soon, and it will be his turn. At the very least, the two of them can stick together for a longer time. Of course, the real reason Tianyang Daozu took action was that they had hope of surviving. Boom boom boom. Palace Master Junwu hangs Tianyang Daozu and Banyu Daozu by himself, while several other invincible Daozu want to take the opportunity to escape, but they are very slow under the restraint of the Forbidden Realm, and they are attacked by the Junwu Palace Master from time to time. In the Forbidden Realm, the forbidden power of Palace Master Junwu can be condensed anywhere in the realm in an instant, so the other invincible Taoist ancestors were also blocked, and there was no way to leave easily. 2 seconds. 3 seconds. Every second, Tianyang Daozu and Banyu Daozu's injuries became more and more serious. Finally, 10 seconds passed, and the two invincible Dao ancestors were already seriously injured. Unexpected, a big pale hand descended from the endless void, smashing the forbidden realm of Palace Master Junwu with one finger. For flowers, forced by the forbidden realm, the invincible Dao ancestors got rid of their shackles one after another, quickly dispersing one by one, and distanced themselves from the Junwu Palace Master. And Palace Master Junwu did not go after those invincible Dao ancestors, but turned his gaze to the master of the pale big hand. Click. A middle-aged strong man walked out with his upper body naked, his aura was extremely terrifying, and he was full of domineering, as if he was a real supreme overlord. Who was this man? Several invincible Taoist ancestors were puzzled. They didn't even know this strong man, as if he appeared out of thin air. But they can be sure that this person is also a half-step domain ancestor. I have seen my ancestor. Tianyang Daozu and Banyu Daozu were very excited when they saw the man. 0. They know they can survive. Go back. The man opened his mouth. Tianyang Daozu and Banyu Daozu quickly retreated, but Palace Master Junwu did not stop them. Palace Master Junwu, one of the 3 Palace Masters of your dignified Heavenly Emperor Palace, it is too much to hide your identity and kill people. The man opened his mouth. As soon as these words came out, the audience was shocked. Palace Master Junwu, one of the 3 remaining Palace Masters in the Tiandi Palace. In fact, they had also guessed whether the mysterious man was the half-step ancestor of the Tiandi Palace. After all, there were so many half-step ancestors in the world, and it was unlikely that they were the half-step ancestors of scattered cultivation. But how powerful the Heavenly Emperor Palace is, it should not do such a thing. But they knew they were wrong, and it was really the work of the Heavenly Emperor Palace. Junwu Palace Master knew that his identity was exposed, and he didn't hide it anymore. He said, "You should be the second-generation Palace Master of the 10,000 Domains Temple." With the strength of the invincible Daozu, he escaped from the half-step ancestors. But since then, you have not appeared. Many people say that you escaped for your life. The forbidden technique broke out, overdrawn the potential and vitality, and fell not long after returning. Now it seems that you are hiding, secretly breaking through to the half-step ancestor realm, but you have never appeared, you really can bear it. 2. Daozu of the town. Invincible Dao ancestors such as Lu Huo Dao ancestor also gradually emerged in the minds of this incomparably ancient Dao ancestor. This is an incomparably ancient existence in the history of the How High Sea world, and it is almost a myth. Unexpectedly, such ancient Taoist ancestors have survived until now, and they have also entered the realm of half-step domain ancestors. Chapter 1155 The plan is over. 5th. Palace Master Junwu, what exactly do you want to do in the Heavenly Emperor Palace? The Taoist ancestor of the town asked in a cold voice. Zhenyu Daozu, can't you guess? Junwu Palace Master asked rhetorically. The Daozu of Zhenyu sighed. It's too cruel for you to do this, how many people will die in that case? Palace Master Junwu laughed and said, since you have guessed it, why didn't you stop it? Don't pretend to be noble, isn't this matter also beneficial to you? If it wasn't for the invincible Dao ancestor in your sect to fall this time, I'm afraid you wouldn't. It will come out. For you, the invincible Daozu is the foundation of the sect, and everyone else can abandon it. We are all one kind of people, there is no difference. Zhenyu Daozu did not refute, he was silent for a while, and then said, Palace Master Junwu, how about this matter? Can. Palace Master Junwu nodded. Now that countless true ancestors and Dao ancestors have fallen, he killed 3 invincible Dao ancestors in 420, and he has completed the target, so it is not necessary to end here, otherwise it has gone too far, and I am afraid not only the town Dao ancestor will attack him. That ancient mirror forbidden treasure was also placed by your heavenly emperor palace. Please take it away, otherwise there will be a lot of forces fighting for it. The Taoist ancestor of the town said quickly. That's right, that thing is called the Haoshan Emperor Mirror, and it is indeed the property of our heavenly emperor palace, so I will take it away. Palace Master Junwoo didn't hide it at all, after all, there was no need to hide it. Wow, Palace Master Junwoo left, came to the place where the Haoshan Emperor Mirror was, and easily took away the Haoshan Emperor Mirror that no one else could take away, and then the whole person disappeared. Zhenyu Daozu, Tiandi Palace is too much. Tianyang Daozu dragged his severely injured body. Then what should we do? Can we still fight against the Heavenly Emperor Palace? Zhenyu Daozu sighed. The three palace masters of the Heavenly Emperor Palace are very strong, especially the Qinglong Palace Master, who can be called the first half-step ancestor of the Haohai Sea realm. The strength is unfathomable. Moreover, the Tiandi Palace has a large number of emperors, and even some ancient emperors can break into the half-step ancestor realm at any time. Compared with the Tiandi Palace, our strength is too far behind. Tianyang Daozu was silent, and his weak strength could only be beaten. If they really fight against the Heavenly Emperor Palace, their myriad domain temple will probably be destroyed in an instant. This is the end of this matter, and you don't have to feel a pity, that clear sky Emperor Mirror can't evolve the path of the ancestors at all. The Taoist road of the town. Understood. Several invincible Taoist ancestors nodded. If it is possible to evolve the path of the ancestors of the domain, I am afraid that the ancestors of the town will slaughter a large number of ancestors madly. In addition, the grievances between our 10,000 domains temple and your mission sect and Tianai sect have ended. No matter how many true ancestors and Taoist ancestors we have fought, try not to fight any more in the future. The Tiandi Palace is now exposed, which means that we are dead. The true ancestor and Tao ancestor have almost satisfied their plans. Zhenyu Daozu looked at Liu Huo Daozu and the invincible Daozu of Tianheizong and Midianzong, seeking their opinions. Zhenyu Daozu, I have no opinion. Liu Huo Daozu was the first to speak. The invincible Taoist ancestors of Tianheizong and Midianzong also bent down and said, we also agreed to reconcile. After all, this is the conspiracy of the Tiandi Palace which led us to kill each other. 1. Then leave. Zhenyu Daozu left with Tianyang Daozu and Banyu Daozu. Liu Huo Daozu also turned and left, and the invincible Daozu of Tianheizong and Midianzong did not stop Liu Huo Daozu. After all, there is no point in fighting at this time, and there is no benefit at all. In this way, the invincible Taoist ancestors left one after another. The other side. After Ouyang Zhuer and Yi Tian knew that the battle was over, they wanted to go to the Haoshan Emperor Mirror to take a look, but they watched from a distance but found that the rule cloud above Hulu Mountain had disappeared. It's a pity, the Haoshan Emperor Mirror has been taken away. It seems that the plan of the Tiandi Palace has come to an end. Ouyang Zhuer said regretfully. She originally wanted to spy on the road ahead. She also knew that the Haoshan Emperor Mirror could not evolve the path of the ancestors of the domain, but after all, the path she took in this life was different from that in the previous life. Although she became the ancestor of the half-step domain in the previous life, her foundation was too weak, and she belonged to the weaker among the ancestors of the half-step domain. 1. And has no potential to become a domain ancestor. And the foundation of this life is too deep. So I want to use the Clear Sky Emperor Mirror to completely evolve to the extreme of the half-step ancestor, and walk out a path of extreme perfection. It is a pity that she has just evolved to the half-step domain ancestor level path, and has not evolved to the extreme, so she has no chance to evolve again. But soon, she calmed down. All in all, this time the harvest is very big. Yi Tian also regretted for a while, but soon it didn't matter. Immediately, Yi Tian and Ouyang Zhuer left the forbidden land of Huoyan and returned to the human race. After returning, Yi Tian sorted out the harvest this time. There is 1 low-level forbidden treasure, 32 top-level forbidden objects, 925 high-level forbidden objects, 15,032 medium-level forbidden objects, and 356,213 low-level forbidden objects. Hundreds of thousands of forbidden strange objects. Such a harvest is simply too exaggerated. Certainly, most of the forbidden items were picked up by Yi Tian. When the enemy was fighting, he followed Ouyang Zhuer to steal corpses everywhere, so he stole many forbidden items. Otherwise, Yi Tian's harvest would probably be reduced a lot. With the passage of time, after the forbidden land of Hoyan was no longer dangerous, many true ancestors entered the forbidden land of Hoyan again. Of course, the forbidden strange objects in the Hoyan forbidden land are relatively rare, but Ouyang is willing to get one. So far, Huoyan has become a forbidden place for the common ancestors and the elite ancestors. After Yi Tian came back, he began to retreat and cultivate. This time, with the help of the Clear Sky Emperor Mirror, he witnessed the evolution of the future path, and personally realized the forbidden ways. This feeling is still there, so if he continues to understand the forbidden ways, it is easy to grasp them one by one. Originally, it would take Yi Tian an extremely long time to master the complete taboo, but now it doesn't take too long. This shows how useful the Haoshan Emperor Mirror is. Of course, even if 5.8 mastered the complete forbidden way, it was nothing special. According to Ouyang Joer, those ancient invincible Dao ancestors all mastered the complete taboo Dao, but they did not fully cultivate the complete forbidden Dao, but only selected a certain taboo Dao to focus on comprehension. Time passed little by little, Yi Tian mastered a taboo road every once in a while. Hundreds of forbidden ways, 1,000 forbidden ways, 3,000 forbidden ways. Before he knew it, Yi Tian finally realized all the taboos. Although it was a preliminary understanding, each taboo was far from being a beginner, but at least he had understood the complete taboos, and his strength instantly improved, a lot. Next, his goal is to complete the integration of the Forbidden Dao and the Endless Dao to form his own Endless Forbidden Dao. G. Chapter 1156 Create a Forbidden Weapon, the Sky-Killing Spear. 6th More. The integration of the Forbidden Dao and the Endless Dao is not difficult. It is only necessary to wrap the Forbidden Dao and the Endless Dao with the power of the Source. This process consumes a lot of the power of the Source. But once it succeeds, the power of the Source contained in Yi Tian's Supreme Daoyuan will also become the power of the Forbidden Source. At that time, Yi Tian's speed of tempering the forbidden body will be much faster, and he can even use the power of the Forbidden Source to temper the forbidden body. The speed is not known how many times faster than before, and he is even expected to quench the forbidden body before he becomes a Taoist ancestor. Tempered to the level of 69%. Once he breaks through to the realm of Daozu, the tempering level of the forbidden body will also skyrocket, and it will directly break the shackles from Shaocheng to Dacheng. What is this concept? Some half-step ancestors have only just completed their accomplishments on the taboo body, and it is conceivable how unbelievable it is for the Supreme Ancestor to integrate the Forbidden Way. But Yi Tian's experience could hardly be copied, so others could not envy it. In order to speed up the fusion of the Forbidden Dao and the Endless Dao, Yi Tian paid a huge price to arrange a time acceleration of 100,000 times, and at the cost of the forbidden strange objects, he arranged 29 time formations and only needed to replenish the forbidden strange objects regularly. That's it. This is very expensive taboo strange objects, but Yi Tian has a lot of taboo strange objects, and it is unnecessary to use them. In this way, Yi Tian uses the power of the Source to promote the compatibility between the Forbidden Way and the Endless Avenue in the 100,000 times time formation. 1 year outside, 100,000 years inside the time array, almost 1/1000th of a year. Finally, after 1,000 years in the outside world, Yi Tian finally completed the fusion of the Forbidden Dao and the Endless Dao. This day, Yi Tian ushered in a transformation. Boom! The Forbidden Dao and the Endless Dao quickly transformed into the Endless Forbidden Dao, and the Supreme Dao Source also began to transform into the Forbidden Supreme Dao Source, and the power of countless forbidden sources escaped, frantically tempering Yi Tian's forbidden body. Originally, Yi Tian's forbidden body had been staying at the level of 60%, but now it has quickly broken into the progress of 61%. The forbidden body is constantly being tempered, and the effect of improvement is far greater than before. It's a pity that Yi Tian's true ancestor's power, physical power and soul power have reached the pinnacle of the supreme true ancestor, so there is no way to improve it. But Yi Tian was surprised to find that his soul was getting stronger and stronger, and it contained taboo attributes. In this way, it will be more difficult for others to annihilate his soul, unless the difference in strength is really too great. This transformation took a full 10 years before it finally ended. The ancient world of Xuanshu, the forbidden land of fire. Yi Tian came here again. He came here to test his moves, because the space here is very stable and will not cause any damage. Forbidden Spear. A taboo spear appeared, and the power of endless taboo Dao wrapped the taboo spear, and immediately stabbed into the void in front of him. Puff! The void was pierced, as if pierced into tofu. The power is terrifying. The power of this blow is comparable to the power of my Wansha true spear. Yi Tian muttered. This is just a condensed taboo spear. If he holds a taboo weapon and kills the enemy at close range, how terrifying it will be. It's time to build a forbidden weapon. I can't have a forbidden weapon for my son, I don't have a forbidden weapon yet. Yi Tian muttered. Coincidentally, he had previously obtained a long stick-type forbidden treasure, which was the best forbidden weapon embryo. Originally, he wanted to make a knife, but the long stick-type forbidden treasure is the most suitable for making spear-type weapons. Moreover, for him who has mastered the forbidden Tao, there is no difference between the Tao of the blade and the Tao of the spear. Mastering the Tao of the forbidden is equal to mastering all the rules, and so on. The great Tao is an evolutionary branch of the forbidden Tao. Therefore, for Yi Tian, whether to use a spear or a long knife has no effect on his strength. Then create a forbidden spear weapon. It just so happens that I have used the forbidden spear for a long time, and the forbidden weapon of the forbidden spear is also used smoothly. 1. Yi Tian muttered. After going back, Yi Tian took out the long stick class taboo treasure, and took out a lot of materials and a lot of taboo materials and started to create taboo weapons. In the past, Yi Tian was still struggling to create taboo weapons, but now he has mastered the complete taboo, and has formed endless taboos. The birth of the supreme source is the power of the taboo source, which can be refined and tempered easily. Extract the essence of forbidden strange objects, so as to integrate into the long stick class forbidden treasures. In this way, each piece of material was tempered into the taboo of the long stick, and slowly turned into a spear, which contained powerful taboo rules and taboo origins. Years pass by. Yi Tian has forged 3,000 years before finally forging a taboo weapon, and it was a medium taboo weapon when it was born, which is much stronger than the low-level taboo weapons in the hands of Yi Xingchen and Yi Xingyu. The forbidden weapon has been created, but the name has not yet been chosen. I'll call you the Sky-Slaying Spear. Yi Tian randomly came up with a name and muttered. Wow, 3 taboo rules are printed on the spear body of the Sky Slaughter Spear 420, which are the 3 taboo characters of Sky Slaughter Spear. This sky-killing spear made Yi Tian's strength increase again, directly skyrocketing by about 30%. Forbidden weapons are not considered their own strength, so even if Yi Tian is about to reach the ultimate limit of the Supreme True Ancestor, it can also increase his combat power by 30%. My strength is about to reach its peak. At present, the forbidden body has been tempered to the level of 65%. It is estimated that it will reach 60% in the near future. This is also the peak of the forbidden body of the Supreme Ancestor. At that time, the strength of the ancestors can't increase anymore without entering the Taoist ancestors, that is the ultimate Supreme Ancestor. Yi Tian muttered to himself. The rules of the Xuanxu ancient realm have become stronger and stronger recently, and the entire ancient realm has a tendency to expand. Many strong people realized that the ancient world of Xuanxu was about to be promoted to the ancient world, and they were all shocked. After all, how long has it been since the ancient world of Xuanxu was about to be promoted? Those Taoist ancestors in the Daoshan realm were even more panicked. They thought that the ancient Xuanxu realm would take a long time to advance, so they were not afraid of the forces in the vast sea realm. But now, the sound of the ancient world has risen, and those Taoist ancestors are not restricted. Then are they going to be miserable? Chapter 1157 Dissolution of the Temples. 7th More. The temples of the gods can be called the first force of the Daoshan Realm Alliance, and many Tao ancestors are now very confused. Such as the Forbidden Temple and the Starhorn Beasts have all turned to other forces, so they don't need to make a choice anyway, and they are not afraid of being retaliated by other forces on the 3rd level. But the temples are different, so far they have not taken refuge in any force. Originally, the Xuanxu ancient realm was not promoted, so their choice was not wrong. They were very leisurely and unconstrained. Moreover, the major real countries in the Xuanxu ancient realm continued to provide a large amount of forbidden treasures and resources without being deducted by other forces. Every Taoist ancestor is making rapid progress. For example, Zushan Daozu, after refining some forbidden Dao stones and a large number of forbidden strange objects, the power of Daozu has been refined, and the supreme swordsmanship has made more progress, so his strength has been improved to the extreme of the 4th layer Tian Daozu, and he is about to be promoted to the strength of the 5th level Heavenly Dao Ancestor. But even if he becomes the 5th layer Heavenly Dao Ancestor, he is not as powerful as the 6th layered powers, let alone compared with the 3rd layered powers. This day, the many Taoist ancestors of the temples started a meeting together to discuss the future direction of the temples. Zushan Daozu, God of War Tower Master, Immortal Sect Master, Tomahawk Daozu, Chaos Commercial Bank President Jinyan Daozu, Mercenary Alliance Leader Iron Fist Daozu. With the presence of big figures one by one, the entire conference hall was extremely lively. Many Taoist ancestors sat down one by one, and the meeting began. As the strongest person here, Zushin Daozu took the lead and said, "Everyone, you must be aware of the promotion of the ancient world of Xuanxu to the ancient world, right? This matter is indeed beyond our expectations, so that our many plans and all arrangements are scrapped. Once the ancient world is born, those Taoist ancestors in the Xuanxu ancient world will not be restricted, and our good days will come to an end. At that time, the division of power in the Taoshan boundary will definitely be reshuffled, and our territory will definitely be I can't keep it." Zushin Daozu, these words don't need to be said, we all understand, what should we say now? The immortal sect master said. "I have 2 suggestions," Zushin Daozu proposed. "The first suggestion is to maintain the current alliance method, but we must give up most of the territory and give it to the forces of the upper 3 layers, but this method is not very good. Safety, we do not have the protection of a powerful force, and it is easy to be attacked. The second suggestion is to join a certain force, but once you join a certain force, this alliance method will no longer exist." As soon as these words came out, many Taoist ancestors were dissatisfied. At the beginning, Daozu Zushin proposed an alliance and jointly fight against the forces of the upper 3 layers of heaven. If they had known this would happen, they should have taken refuge in the first place, and they would have gained a lot of benefits in that way. Now, if you take refuge again, not to mention whether those forces will accept it or not, even if it is accepted, the treatment is almost gone. Zushin Daozu, you originally advocated not to take refuge, and we followed you to set up the temples. Now you say this, do you want to give up the temples? It seems that 2 suggestions are not 1 suggestion, that is, to take refuge. Jinyin Daozu sneered. Golden and Silver Daozu, what do you mean? I advocate the establishment of temples, but you have no objection. Now that something happens, you want to put the blame on me. Zushin Daozu was also angry. Zushin Daozu and Jinyin Daozu were arguing hotly, and Tomahawk Daozu said, "Everyone calm down and don't quarrel. Let's go, let's vote, whether to dissolve the temples, or continue to maintain it. Once it is dissolved, what should I do? Do it, that's the business of each faction. Okay, vote, I agree." Zushin Daozu nodded. Immediately, one Taoist ancestor began to vote. After a while, voting was over. Nearly 90% of the Taoist ancestors agreed with the dissolution of the temples. Obviously, everyone was not optimistic about the future of the temples, or had already planned to join a certain force in their hearts. Then disband. Shu Tian Daozu sighed. In this way, the alliance of the Temple of the Gods, which had not been established for a long time, was dissolved. Not long after, the other alliance forces in the Daoshan realm were also disbanded one by one, and the Daoshan realm forces were considered to have collapsed. Not long after, that is, about 100 years. One by one, the forces took refuge in the forces of the upper 3 layers of heaven. The forces of the upper 3 layers of heaven lost too many true ancestors and Taoist ancestors in the last Hoyan Taboo Land War, so they urgently needed to expand their forces, so they accepted the forces that came to take refuge. Of course, they didn't pay any price, and they didn't give any benefits, and even received offerings from those forces. The real country of virtual innocence, the human race. The incarnation of Shu Tian Daozu descended again and came to Yi Tian's residence. This time, Shu Tian Daozu found that he could not see through his apprentice, as if the strength of the other party had reached a very high level. He knows that his apprentice is not weaker than the 4th heavenly Dao ancestor, and his strength is gradually approaching him. "Master." Yi Tian was still very respectful to Shu Tian Dao ancestor and hurriedly greeted Dao. "Teacher, I have one thing for the teacher to come to you this time." Shu Tian Daozu said a little embarrassedly. "What's the matter?" Yi Tian asked curiously. "The temples have been disbanded, and I want to join Haifeng Mountain with the Zushin lineage." Zushin Daozu said. "But I don't know the Daozu of Haifeng Mountain, and I can't contact them, and you are a black. The heavenly general of Fengshan Mountain is second only to the 10 kings, so I would like to ask you to help talk to the great kings of Haifengshan Mountain. Take refuge in the Black Wind Mountain." Yi Tian frowned. This matter is not easy to handle, because Haifeng Mountain does not have any affiliated forces so far. All peak masters and generals recruit members themselves, develop Haifeng Mountain, or recruit geniuses through the inheritance of Haifeng Mountain. So, he didn't know if the Wind King and the others were willing to accept the Zushin lineage. If the Wind King did not agree, he could do nothing. "Teacher, there is nothing you can do to be a teacher. If the ancient world is born, the Taoist ancestors will not be restricted. I am afraid that many of the upper 3 heaven forces will get rid of the teacher. Zushan Taoist said worriedly. Master, I'm going to discuss with the Wind King. Yi Tian said quickly. It is good. Zushan Daozu nodded. Subsequently, Yi Tian arranged for the incarnation of Daozu Zushan to live in the human race, and he personally entered the small realm of the Wind King, and contacted the Wind King with the already Heaven Commander. Juji Tianzhong, what's the matter with contacting me? The Wind King's voice permeated all around Yi Tian. Wind King, the next master, Zushan Daozu, wants to join Haifeng Mountain with Zushan's bloodline. I wonder if Haifeng Mountain can be accepted. Yi Tian said. Black Wind Mountain does not accept affiliated forces, after all, it is not easy to manage. The King of Wind replied with a salutation. Is there no way? Yi Tian frowned. At this time, the Wind King was silent for a while, and then said, there is another way, let Zushan Daozu join Haifeng and become a heavenly king, and the members of Zushan's lineage are included in his legion, so that, is also a member of Haifeng Mountain. However, the title of the Zushan lineage has been removed, and it can only be called the Zushan Legion. If he is willing, I agree with him to join Haifeng Mountain. If he is not willing, then no charge. Thank you, Wind King. Yi Tian also knew that this was the biggest concession of the Wind King, so he left the small realm of the Wind King. Chapter 1158 Void Legion. 8th More, Human Race. After Yi Tian came back, he contacted Zushan Daozu and met Zushan Daozu again. Master, the King of Wind has given an answer. Yi Tian said unhurriedly, the King of Wind said that Haifeng Mountain does not accept affiliated forces. If the Zushan lineage wants to join Haifeng Mountain, there is only one way, then that is, the Master became a king of Haifeng Mountain, and the Zushan lineage became a legion of Haifeng Mountain in the name of Zushan Legion, which is under your direct jurisdiction. The face of Zushan Daozu turned pale, and he quickly asked, does this mean that the Zushan lineage exists in name only and can only act as the Zushan army? Yes. Yi Tian nodded. I can think about it. Zushan Daozu said in a tangled way. Master, you can go back and think slowly, and if you figure it out, tell your disciples. Yi Tian didn't urge Zushan Daozu, after all, that's all he can do. If Shu Tian Daozu is really unwilling, he has nothing to do. He is also very clear that it is very difficult for Zushan Daozu to make a choice. After all, before today, he was still the head of a big power, 420 let him become one of the ordinary high-level leaders of another big power, and his own power collapsed in an instant, and he no longer had the name of power, he suddenly found it difficult to accept. The incarnation of Zushan Daozu did not disband, but lived in the human race, thinking slowly. Day by day has passed. After 3 months, Shu Tian Daozu finally made a decision. Teacher, I am willing to join the Black Wind Mountain. Shu Tian Daozu sighed. He also knew that he had to make this choice. He did not have a good relationship with other upper 3-level forces. Joining the Black Wind Mountain was the best choice. If he doesn't join in, he will not be able to stop the forces of the upper 3 layers from attacking in the future, and he will even die. But if he joined Haifeng Mountain, with the blessing of Haifeng Mountain, he would not dare to say other aspects, but there is enough guarantee for safety, as long as he does not die, it is not easy to die. Of course, if he had to seize the opportunity to be killed by others, he could only say that his strength was not good enough. Zushan Daozu agreed, and the next step was simple. The consciousness of the Wind King appeared and personally assessed the Daozu of Zushan. After a simple assessment, Daozu of Zushan successfully passed the assessment and became a heavenly king of Haifeng Mountain, and his status was similar to Yi Tian. Zushan Daozu wanted to make other Daozu of Zushan's lineage also become kings, but unfortunately his strength was not up to the standard. After all, the standard of Haifeng Tianwang was very high. Therefore, those Taoist ancestors of the Zushan lineage can only be reduced to the commander, deputy commander and other positions of the Zushan Legion. Later, Zushan Daozu announced to the outside world that he had joined Haifeng Mountain, and the Zushan lineage was officially established as the Zushan army. This news was conveyed to the Zushan temple in the true kingdom of Zushan, and it was also passed back to the Zushan realm. At first, many people opposed it, but the voice of opposition was suppressed. Gradually, the Taoist ancestors and true monarchs of the Zushan lineage accepted their status as members of the Zushan Legion. Shortly after, many true ancestors of the Void Legion have settled in the Fire King's small realm, and have been divided into a certain space in the Fire King's small realm, which is today's Void space. The power of the Void Legion is undoubtedly very powerful, and it holds a huge real country, which can provide a large number of talents for Haifeng Mountain, so the appearance of the Void Legion is very beneficial to Haifeng Mountain. The upper 3rd level forces did not respond to the matter of the Zushan Legion. After all, the Zushan lineage is only a 5th-level force at best. Where would they pay attention to the Zushan lineage? At most, some true ancestors will discuss it privately, and it will not cause those 7th-level forces. The eyes of the ancestors of Tiandao and the most powerful Taoists. In a blink of an eye, the Zushan army's entry into high function has stabilized, and Zushan Daozu has gradually accepted the fact that he has become the Black CJFI Wind Mountain Heavenly King. But, the ancient world of Xuanxu has not yet been born into the ancient world, so Zushan Daozu and other Taoist ancestors cannot enter the ancient world of Xuanxu, and can only enter Haifeng Mountain as an incarnation at ordinary times to deal with some things. And with the passage of time, Yi Tian's cultivation has gradually entered the shackles, because he has reached the pinnacle of the supreme true ancestor. The forbidden body has been tempered to 69%, and it really can't be tempered anymore. Yi Tian muttered. Today, he really has no way to enter, no matter how against the sky, there is no way to break the shackles. After all, the supreme true ancestor is the pinnacle of the true ancestor, and he has no way to open up a new level above the supreme true ancestor. The real ancestral realm. If he is really so arrogant, I am afraid that he can change the rules of the dark forbidden area directly and make the rules himself. After Yi Tian's strength reached the supreme true ancestor's pinnacle, he seldom cultivated, but instead he taught his sons and daughters, and at the same time instructed his wife and sister to cultivate so that they could continuously improve their strength. With Yi Tian's unremitting efforts, Yi Xingchen and Yi Xingyu have stepped into the invincible Tao ancestor's battle strength, while Xiao Yu and Yi Yu are constantly progressing towards the ultimate invincible ancestor, but this step is very difficult. Yi Yu also got a natal natural talent from Yi Xingyu, and also gave birth to the Tao level natal talent, but getting the Tao level natal talent does not mean that you can step into the invincible Daozu extreme. The ultimate invincible ancestor is a difficult level to reach. There are so many invincible ancestors in the ancient Xuanxu world, and few people have been promoted to this level. But, in the following years, Yi Tian, on the grounds that he had obtained some kind of supreme treasure, fooled Yi Xingchen, Yi Xingyu, Xiao Yu and the others by refining this treasure to obtain the Tao level birthright talent, and in fact secretly bestowed them the Tao level birthright talent. Under such circumstances, Yi Xingchen, Yi Xingyu, Xiao Yu, and Yi Yu have obtained Tao level natural talents that are very suitable for them. Possessing a variety of Tao level natural talents, they practiced 1,000 Tao techniques in one sect, and there were almost no flaws. In addition, the taboo body was constantly tempered, and their combat power improved rapidly. 100,000 years. Million years. Finally, another 3 million years have passed in the ancient world of Xuanxu. At this time, Yi Xingchen reached the top invincible Daozu battle strength, Yi Xingyu also reached the top invincible Daozu battle strength, Yi Yu reached the top invincible Daozu battle strength. Xiao Yu has the strongest combat power. After all, she has received special care from Yi Tian, and countless resources have been supplied to her, so she has directly stepped into the ultimate combat power of the invincible Tao ancestor. Perhaps if Xiao Yu is given an opportunity, she can step into the ranks of the supreme true ancestor. After all, her shackles have been broken by the heavenly forbidden tree heart, and the hope of stepping into the supreme true ancestor is very huge. This day, Ouyang Zhuor informed Yi Tian that in a short while, the ancient world of Xuanxu will be promoted. Chapter 1159 Promotion, Mysterious Ancient World. 9th More. Zhuor, is the Xuanxu ancient realm going to be promoted? 1. Yi Tian came to Ouyang Zhuor and asked. Well, in these 10,000 years. Ouyang Zhuor affirmed. Yi Tian listened and had some preparations in his heart. Ouyang Zhuor said again. The promotion of the ancient world of Xuanxu to the ancient world of Xuanxu, although it is not a big opportunity, it is far from the opportunity to be promoted to the taboo world, but at the moment of promotion, if you seize the opportunity, you can still get it. Big bonus. Oh, what's the big deal? Yi Tian is not very clear about these secrets, so he is very curious. Ouyang Zhuor explained. The biggest difference between the ancient world and the ancient world is not the size and the strength of the rules, but the ancient world will produce primordial chaotic life. They are equivalent to some innate gods and demons in the universe, but their bloodlines are different. The innate gods and demons are many times stronger. Many Taoist ancestors in the upper third layer of heaven are primordial chaotic beings, you should have heard of it. 1. The primordial chaotic life, it turned out to be like this. Yi Tian understood. Before, the power demon Tao ancestor he killed was also a primordial chaotic life. He thought that the primordial chaotic life was born from chaos, but he did not expect it to be born from the ancient world. Once the primordial chaotic life is conceived, under the protection of the rules of the ancient world, even the invincible Daozu would not dare to destroy it. But when the ancient world was just born, there would be a lot of primordial chaotic energy, and these primordial chaotic primordial chi would breed primordial ancient times in the future. The foundation of chaotic life. Once we refine the primordial chaotic source gas, we can strengthen the source, which is a great opportunity for many true ancestors. Of course, it is the same for us. We can first collect a large number of primordial chaotic sources chi, and then start to attack the Tao ancestor realm, refining the primordial chaotic source chi. You can expand the supreme Tao source in one fell swoop, saving countless years of hard work. Ouyang Joer said. Few people know about these secrets, because even in the realm of the gods, it is very rare for the ancient realm to be promoted to the ancient realm, world level. In the realm of the gods in heaven, although many strong people created the ancient world, they have always been in the form of the ancient world from beginning to end, and there is no way to advance. Therefore, very few powerhouses know the primordial chaotic origin energy, and even some primordial chaotic beings do not know the primordial chaotic origin chi. Brother Yi, primordial primal chaos origin chi cannot be stored into the world in storage space. You can collect it with the forbidden wonders that contain space, so that it will not escape. Ouyang Joer reminded again. Understood, Yi Tian replied. Time passed little by little, and it was getting closer and closer to the day when the Xuanxu ancient realm was promoted to the ancient realm. At this time, many upper third-level forces also knew about the promotion of Xuanxu ancient realm. However, there are not many powerhouses who know the secrets of primordial primal chaos origin chi, and even a powerful person may not reveal the news, because the more people who know, the greater the competition. Primordial primal chaos origin chi will only appear when the ancient world is just born, and there will never be too many people. If there are too many people who collect it, it will be difficult to collect much. Therefore, most people who know the secret will hide it. But, Yi Tian told his wife, sister, son and daughter to collect the primordial chaos origin chi as well. This day, the ancient world of Xuanxu finally ushered in a transformation, and a large number of Taoist ancestors in the Daoshan boundary also stood outside the ancient world of Xuanxu, waiting for the ancient world of Xuanxu to be promoted to the ancient world. After the rules were stabilized, they immediately entered the ancient world of Xuanxu. Boom! The ancient world of Xuanxu began to expand wildly, swallowing the primordial energy of chaos in the chaos. The endless chaotic vitality poured into the ancient world of Xuanxu, which is like a gourd swallowing the sea water of the entire sea in the sea. At this time, the ancient world of Xuanxu is such a picture in chaos. 10 times, 318,000 times, the ancient world of Xuanxu has become more and more huge. Compared with the ancient world of Xuanxu today, those Taoist realms in the chaos are like a grain of sand and a sea of sand. The ancient world of Xuanxu is advancing, the rules are constantly becoming stronger, and the origin of the ancient world of Xuanxu is also growing wildly, and even some fragments of the realm are gradually absorbed by the ancient world of Xuanxu, turning into ancient continents. About 10 years have passed, and the promotion process of Xuanxu ancient realm is coming to an end. At this time, primordial primal chaos origin chi began to be born. Swish! Everywhere in the ancient world of Xuanxu, a famous true ancestor or Daozu woke up and began to search for the source of primordial chaos in the entire ancient world of Xuanxu. Yi Tian asked his family to look for them near the Zutianjun kingdom. In this case, his body would sit in the Zutianjun kingdom. Once they encountered danger, he would be able to support them in time. Ask for flowers, and the task of finding the primordial chaotic origin energy is handed over to the copy body. On a certain newborn continent in the Zutianjun kingdom, a wisp of incomparably ancient aura was suspended above a mountain like a rule. This breath is the primordial energy. If no one takes away the primordial chaotic energy, after a long time, a primordial chaotic life will be born here. Unexpected, Yi Tian came to tear the space, took out a forbidden strange object similar to a gourd, and urged this forbidden strange object to take away the primordial energy. In this way, Yi Tian kept walking in the realm of false heaven and its annexes. The ancient world of Xuanxu has become too big now, and there are too many empty and unowned territories, so even if the true ancestors and Taoist ancestors are looking for the source of primordial chaos, there will be almost no conflicts. 0. A wisp. 2 strands, 3 strands. Yi Tian obtained more and more primordial chi, but Yi Tian knew very well that he and other powerhouses could not take away all primordial chi, at most a very small part. After all, the primordial chaotic origin gas has not existed for a long time. Once the primordial world is completely born, it will begin to breed primordial chaotic life in a short period of time. At that time, no one could take it away. Time passed slowly, and the ancient world of Xuanxu was finally completely promoted. Boom! The ancient Taoist ancestors woke up one after another from the slumbering and sealed land, releasing the breath of the Taoist ancestors one by one, announcing their return. In almost every power headquarters, a large amount of Tao ancestor aura runs through the void of the ancient world of Xuanxu, turning into huge figures overlooking the world. Certainly, there are also some forces that are relatively low-key, as if there is no movement. One of the forces is the Black Wind Mountain, which is still as usual. On the other hand, the Heavenly Sect, the Heavenly Sea Sect, and the 10,000 Domains Temple were more arrogant, and a large number of Taoist ancestors began to act to seize the territory at the fastest speed. After all, the territory of the ancient world of Xuanxu is too large, and many of them are unowned land. When will we not seize it at this time? Certainly. The upper and middle three-level forces also sent many Taoist ancestors to leave the ancient realm of Xuanxu and enter the chaos of the Taoshan realm. They are also very interested in the wider chaos. The reshuffle of forces has begun. The Chapter 1160 promoted to Daozu. First update. In the Daoshan boundary, all the chaotic areas were occupied by the forces of the upper three layers of heaven, and branches were set up, which were handed over to the affiliated forces for management. After all, the realm of Dao Mountain is too large, and the Dao ancestors of the upper three-level power cannot manage it. Even if a chaotic continent sends a true ancestor to manage, all the true ancestors are sent out, and they cannot manage all the chaotic continents. In addition, there are a large number of Dao worlds, large universes, ordinary universes, and various special worlds, treasure places, forbidden places, etc. in the Daoshan realm. Therefore, at this time, the affiliated forces will play a role, manage them for them, and hand in some talents and resources regularly. In the face of the strength of the upper three layers of heaven, many big forces in the Daoshan realm did not dare to resist at all. If the forces they took refuge in were strong enough, they could still keep part of the territory. 0. Let go. However, because the Daoshan boundary is too large, it may take a long time to completely divide the boundary. Moreover, the upper three heaven forces also compete with each other, and many times they need to fight to occupy a chaotic territory. Of course, for the powers of the upper three layers of heaven, the ancient world of Xuanxu is the most precious world, and the territory here is extremely precious. This time, Haifeng Mountain has also come to the bright side, and it has also occupied various territories, which are managed by peak masters and generals, and their legions are usually stationed there, so there is no need to worry about the top of Haifeng Mountain. It is worth mentioning that the human race led the human race to withdraw from the illusory state. For the human race, the kingdom of virtual innocence is still too small. Yi Tian chose a territory that was not too far from the false heaven kingdom, and chose a territory that was dozens of times larger than the false heaven true kingdom, and directly announced that he would occupy this place. Moreover, the place he occupies is not big for the entire Xuanxu ancient world, it is just a small place, so he doesn't care. The human race has a large number of true ancestors, so the migration work does not need Yi Tian to worry about it. At this time, Yi Tian and his family announced to retreat. Yi Tian wants to hit the Dao ancestor realm, and his family also needs to improve their strength and strive to enter the ranks of the supreme true ancestor. This day, after Xiao Yu refined a large amount of primordial primal chaos origin qi, her origin was improved, and her body was tempered by primordial primal chaos primal qi. It was this improvement that made her completely break the shackles, and directly gave birth to the supreme Daoyuan, stepping into the rank of the supreme true ancestor. Xiao Yu broke through, and Yi Tian knew it immediately. He was not surprised at all. After all, Xiao Yu has no bottleneck. As long as he improves his strength a little, he can break the shackles and be promoted to the supreme ancestor. If he can't break through, then it will be strange. Yi Yu, Yi Xingchen, and Yi Xingyu may still need a lot of time to break through to the supreme true ancestor. The primordial chaotic origin energy can only help them strengthen their origin and improve their foundation, and there is no way to help them enter the rank of the supreme true ancestor. Start breaking through. Yi Tian restrained his mind, no longer paid attention to external affairs, and wholeheartedly broke through the realm of Taoist ancestors. When the true ancestor stepped into the Tao ancestor, he was in the way, and he had long been in harmony with his spirit, energy, and spirit, so it was not difficult for him to join the Tao, and it could even be said that it was very easy. Therefore, he must practice the secret art of harmony. The so-called secret art of combining the Tao is to fuse the power of the soul, the flesh, and the true ancestor into a single point, mixing the essences one, and then integrating with the Tao of oneself to completely reshape the body. At that time, it will be the road itself. On the other hand, Yi Tian needs to be one with the endless forbidden Tao, and his every move is the embodiment of the endless forbidden Tao, and he is the incarnation of the endless forbidden Tao. Of course, the secret art of harmony must be perfect, without errors or flaws, otherwise the foundation will be unstable. The reason why a group of Tao ancestors in the Daoshan realm such as the Forbidden Palace is unstable and their origins are flawed is because the Taoist secret techniques handed down by Daoshan Daozu are incomplete or flawed. The true ancestor joined the Tao and became the Taoist, but the flaws were too great. It was not until a long time later that many Tao ancestors in the Daoshan realm perfected the secret art of combining Tao step by step. Although it is not perfect, there are no major flaws. And Yi Tian's secret art of combining Tao cultivation at this time comes from the Black Wind Mountain. It is the most perfect secret art of combining Tao. The true ancestor, who cannot master the power of darkness and taboos, has a trace of taboo attributes after joining the Tao. This is the perfect way to get along. Boom, the secret art of harmony. Yi Tian's body, soul, and true ancestor's power seemed to be absorbed by a certain point in the body, and the body turned into a black spot in a short time. At the same time, the three forces of spirit, qi and spirit began to try to merge. Others will be trapped in this step and need to use foreign objects to complete it, but Yi Tian has already completed it completely. As Yi Tian continued to run the secret art of combining the Tao, the forbidden Tao stone and a small piece of forbidden mother stone that had long been arranged around the closed room were attracted by the secret of combining the Tao, and turned into an incomparably pure dark taboo power and poured into it, in that black spot. With the purest dark taboo power, he will join the Tao and build the foundation. Once Yi Tian successfully joins the Tao, not only the Tao ancestor's power will become a very pure and forbidden Tao power, but even his soul and body will become extremely powerful, with an extremely deep foundation. For others, it is very dangerous to use the dark taboo power to build a foundation, but for Yi Tian who has mastered the dark taboo power, this method of building a foundation is very safe. After a long time, the point of unity began to expand, turned into a human form, and began to reshape the body of the ancestors, also known as the body of the Tao. Blood, bones, internal organs, skin, hair. Each body is formed by condensing, so that Yi Tian's whole person becomes perfect, as if it is a creation of heaven and earth, and it is the most perfect 5.8 body. At the same time, Yi Tian's aura became stronger and stronger, and countless forbidden sources of power emerged, tempering Yi Tian's body. Soon, Yi Tian's body gave birth to a lot of taboo Tao power, and his soul became extremely strong, containing powerful taboo attributes, and the taboo body also broke the shackles instantly, tempered to the realm of great achievement, and was still improving rapidly. 70%, 72, 73, 74. It didn't take long for Yi Tian's forbidden body to be tempered to a level of 70% or 80%, and then it stopped, and this tempering level is very close to the 80% forbidden body. I don't know how long it took, Yi Tian's realm finally stabilized. At this moment, he is already a true Taoist ancestor.